Good morning and welcome to the 16th of June for our County Commission meeting. If you would, let's invite, let's do a roll call first. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Chair Commissioner Clay Murphy.
Present.
Vice Chair Commissioner Ann Taylor. Commissioner Christian Whitehurst.
Present.
Commissioner Sarah Arnold. Present. Commissioner Krista Joseph.
Present.
Okay. Well, they're all here. There seems to be a problem with this. Let's try that again. Let's try it again. Give it a second. There you go.
Oh, here we go. Present.
All right. Good deal. All right. Good deal. If you would, let's all rise for the invocation. And let me invite Pastor Matt McLowry from Colonial Church. And then remain standing for the pledge for Larry Mull, Petty Officer, First Class, United States Navy. Thank you.
Good morning. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, and verse 3 says, "And you show that you are a letter from Christ, delivered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of human hearts. Such is the confidence we have through Christ toward God, not that we are sufficient in ourselves to claim anything as coming from us, but our sufficiency is from God." Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for your word. We thank you for this meeting, God. We give you the honor and the praise. We're so grateful for all that you've given to us today, Lord. This beautiful place that we live, this amazing county we get to call home. And we pray for this meeting. We ask that you would give our leaders wisdom, discernment, and everything they need to carry out their duties. In Jesus' name, amen.
I'm glad to be here once again, so please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless our wonderful land.
God bless America. Thank you. Yes. Okay. We'll go to deletions to the consent agenda. So, Commissioner Arnold, you have the floor. Any deletions?
I have none.
Commissioner Joseph?
None, sir.
There it is. You can just leave it on. She says none. Commissioner Whitehurst?
None, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Taylor?
I have no deletions. However, I am aware that there will be public comment on item number 13 on the consent.
Okay, so we're going to allow public comment for agenda item number 13 on the consent agenda for public comments, all right?
Oh.
We're going to have public comment on all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right, good, that's good. So let's go ahead and have public comment on the agenda items now then, on the
Okay.
consent agenda.
Consent.
Is
Yep.
that right? Okay.
At this time, we will take public comment on the consent agenda. Coming up, you'll have 3 minutes. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Taylor, Commissioners, my name is Bob Yerkes. I'm president of Homeowners Facilities, Inc., which is also a Corporate Point Homeowners Association. That's the way it was organized 45 years ago. It's better up here? For a number of years, we've been working with the utility department to come up with ways to improve the water, potable water in our area. As you know, we're not connected to the county system right now. I've worked with Neil Shrinkery and Larry Miller on a lot of projects. This particular one is the interconnect between your North Shore system now and our Porpoise Point system. There was a resolution passed last year, 25-169, which approved this project. And then since then, we've been trying to figure out how to put it into place. They came up with estimates for the project. They were exceedingly high on behalf of the homeowners. We worked out a situation where we would do it together, where the homeowners would pay 50% of the property of the cost, and the county would pay 50% of the cost. There was the first addendum that was prepared by Neil before he left that he said we need to present it in this form. April 6th, they'd sent me another first addendum that had I presented a copy for each of you there, that in which it waived the administrative fee. And we signed that and returned that to the utility department. And then about 10 days later, I got another email saying, well, that's kind of presupposing that they would waive that administrative fee. We need to send it without that waiver. So he sent me another copy that did not have the waiver provision in it. We said, we want to cooperate. We signed that one. But I asked it for both the alternative resolution and the original resolution to be presented to you all so I could make my points on it. I brought to you today a copy of that alternate resolution. The only difference is on page 4, it's got the waiver provision in it as opposed to the one that was submitted by the county that doesn't have the waiver in it. So the whole issue was, is there any kind of public benefit to this project? Of course, both the utility department and the homeowners have found that there's a lot of safety, welfare interests that are involved in doing this interconnection. In the case of emergencies, in the case of mechanical failure, it provides water, potable water, to flow, and what's important is in either direction. But ours is limited. We have kind of a hand behind our back. For the next couple of years, as you get the North Shore system in place, we can only get emergency water in December, January, and February when the capacity or the use is lower. But the county can get it at any time. Once we sign this agreement and this thing is in place, so the county has an immediate source of emergency water. So I submit that's one thing that's when we're talking about public interest and public benefit that you will have over the next couple of years, while we only have that availability in December, in January, and February. So what other issues are there beside the public health, welfare, and safety?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I wish I had more time, but.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other public comments at this time on the consent agenda?
If I can interrupt just for a second, you're going to get another opportunity in general public comment to finish your statements if you like. Is that right? We can do that. Thanks. Come on up.
My apologies.
Okay.
It's actually for public comment.
All right. In that case, we'll. Do I have a motion to?
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I believe we're looking to remove item number 23.
Okay, come on up.
and we also were going to have Larry speak on consent agenda number 13. Thank you.
Okay.
I know you were up there and then you went and sat down. So, yep, we want to hear from you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you could start with maybe the history behind this.
Yeah,
and what,
so last year.
bring us back.
Absolutely. Last year, the board approved the resolution for the interlocal agreement to allow the interconnect to happen. That agreement basically laid it out where the utility would do the design and planning for the interconnect, and the homeowners' utilities would ultimately fund and facilitate the construction. Talking to Mr. Yerkes, they had some issues with their bidding. Bid prices were high. They approached our staff to prepare a cost estimate for our construction crew to complete the construction, which were provided, and they agreed to the terms of that back in April. We started preparing this addendum to allow them to pay the utility department to complete the construction, originally without the waiver. Subsequently, the waiver request came in from Mr. Yerkes, and we pivoted pretty quickly because of the deadlines for the board, and we basically prepared two versions of the agreement while things were being reviewed. Talking to legal and staff, basically what we find is the project does have a lot of benefits. However, the waiver request for waiving the administrative fee doesn't seem to have a public benefit. Basically, the concern being the administrative fee covers administrative and project management costs, which are soft costs of a project. By waiving the payment of that fee, it could have, those fees are incurred by the utility, and subsequently the utility would be subsidizing this project. So that was the concern that we have heard. But all in all, the project is good. Having utility interconnects is a beneficial thing mutually. And, having our staff actually build it is another good thing because we'll be familiar with it. If we need to respond to it, we can do so quickly because we know what's in the ground. Is there any other questions?
I have a question.
What? Yeah, certainly. I'm just wondering why didn't we just pull this to the regular agenda? We could have discussed it at length. But go ahead. You have the. Yeah. I wouldn't mind pulling this to the regular agenda. Go ahead and ask your question. We'll go from there.
No, my question is, does the county plan to take over this utility?
It's a possibility, but there's no current plan. There's no current plan in place. We have a lot of work to do in North Beach before we could even consider it. But there is no active plan
No
right
plan.
now.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Motion to approve the consent agenda? As amended? With the deletion of 23. Okay, we're going to delete number 23 off the consent agenda. And so I need a motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, just say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you so much. Let's go to additions, deletions to the regular agenda. Commissioner Arnold?
I have none.
Okay. Commissioner Joseph?
I have none. Do you know when are we hearing 13 or not hearing 13?
We just
Is that on
approved
the
it.
regular agenda or no?
No.
We just voted.
That's all. Okay. Commissioner Whitehurst?
I have none, Mr. Chair.
And Commissioner Taylor?
I have none.
Okay, I have none. So
I'll move
I'll take a
approval of
motion
the
to
regular
approve the
agenda.
regular agenda.
Yes, sir. So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second to approve the regular agenda?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Let's vote by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay, we'll go right into the public comment. General public comment.
Okay. At this time, the board will hear general public comment on matters that are not scheduled for action on today's agenda. When addressing the board, please come to one of the three podiums and state your name and address. Each person will be provided 3 minutes to speak, and we ask that you speak directly into the microphone. Speakers will comply with the board's rules of civility and decorum. You may not demand an immediate response from the board, and members of the audience will refrain from any disruptive demonstration of approval or disapproval of any comments. Finally, any speaker that would like to present materials, please utilize the center podium. Paper materials can be placed on the X for our overhead camera to display, and a laptop will be set up for any USB presentations. After presenting, please provide the materials to the staff of the clerk of the court to be entered into public record.
I have some documents here. We've handed some of the documents that need to be handed out across the dais to the commissioners. And then I also have extra copies here for the press, and then copies for the county commissioner, the county administrator, the county attorney. Where can I put these documents?
You can give them to Ms. Keeley.
Thank you. My name is Keith Hennick. Good morning, commissioners. Presenting over 200 petitioned residents from Madera and Tennis Village condos. We face an imminent manufactured safety crisis on US 1 caused by an FDOT design that prioritizes spacing tables over human life. To address a 13.6 spacing deviation under the Florida Administrative Code, FDOT is installing a restricted crossing U-turn. This layout completely eliminates direct left turns from our neighborhoods. To go south, hundreds of families must drive north and execute high-risk U-turns into free-flowing, high-speed traffic at Marylinda Drive. Critically, FDOT's design relies on an obsolete 2018 study baseline of 24,000 cars per day, completely ignoring today's active telemetry of over 32,500 vehicles hitting this corridor daily. This design creates a cascading failure on county infrastructure. Under FDOT topic 625-010-021, a U-turn lane cannot safely exist within an adjacent intersection's queuing area. An intersection modeled for 24,000 cars cannot structurally survive 32,500. Medium queues will overflow, blocking Maryland exits and forcing trapped drivers north to U-turn at the oversaturated Lewis Speedway intersection. This shifts traffic overflow directly into the primary gateway serving our county government complex and the sheriff's office. Worse yet, it creates a public safety crisis. Bumper-to-bumper gridlock strips drivers from the physical space required to yield, actively delaying county emergency response times under Florida Statute 316.126. Compounding this is the impending completion of 170,000 square foot Madera commercial development. Marilinda Drive is the sole entrance for hundreds of our gated homes. FDOT recklessly forces residential traffic to execute tight U-turns directly into high-volume commercial weaving zone, forcing families to compete with breaking retail traffic and 32,000 fast-moving daily commuters. FDOT's traffic model completely ignores this reality. District 2 staff flatly dismissed our petitions. While US 1 is a state road, these are your local infrastructure impacts and your constituents. We respectfully request the Commission to issue an official resolution or formal letter of objection to FDOT District 2 Secretary. Demand an immediate procedure pause until FDOT's Access Management Review Committee holds a transparent public hearing with county staff to fully model actual 2026 field volumes and the compounding regional impacts on Marilinda Drive and Lewis Speedway. Do not let FDOT build a collision zone in our backyard. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. 188, 408 Sevilla Drive in the Shores. And I've been here before several times. And we're having a problem with the U-turn also, evidently. I've also got a copy of the medium opening and access management that I think the commissioners ought to take a look at. One of the things in there, it says that whenever they do something like that, they're supposed to notify everybody that's affected by it. And we had no notification whatsoever. I've submitted 3 pages of signatures to the commission at an earlier date. So they should have that. It's also that the commission can make changes in this if they see fit to do it. We're still driving over the grass at the medium strip. The people on Sevilla are, rather than going down and making a U-turn on a hill, which is unsafe, we can't see what's coming up. And FPL is also, there's a service road there, and they've got big equipment. They've got trucks, they've got trailers, they've got all kinds of stuff. They're doing the same thing. They're driving over the medium strip rather than going further down to another U-turn, making a U-turn, coming back up, and then trying to make the turn into their service road. So the medium strip is a mess. It's got big dirt areas in it and everything. But the golf course got a nice little area there with white gravel, and they go across. The golf course was taken care of, but we feel that we've been overlooked. So we would like, if possible, somebody to come over and take a look at it. A traffic study might be something that might be looked at. And as I said, we feel overlooked. I've been here several times. I'm kind of the person that is here for the road of Sevilla, and I keep trying to draw your attention to it, and I hope that maybe eventually you'll see what's going on. And so and we're finally getting our grass cut too. So I don't know who's responsible, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. Sherry Badger, 2772 South Collins Avenue. I figured since I got this memory, I would share it. This is a State Road 16 in Collins Avenue. This is the way that our water used to run. They took a 266 cubic yard ditch that held water and put it in an 18-inch cubic pipe. This is the results. This is the build. Instead of the water going towards the highway, it comes back to our homes. I've been up here for 7 years. You have not fixed it. It's not a lot of y'all's fault. And I had the opportunity to present this to one of you. But this is what's going on in this town. And it just seems like it's falling on deaf ears. That's a 4-foot ditch, 6 feet wide. So when they build these new things in your neighborhood, this is what you can expect, because nobody knows what's really going on. And this year when it happens, I guess I'll have to call the news. God bless and have a great day.
Thank you. Are there any other comments at this time? Please come on up. You can, you can both be on each side, all ready to go. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Judy Spiegel. I live at 101 Green Willow Lane. And we are in our last meeting before our nation celebrates its 250th year anniversary, coming up on July 4th. And we had our rededication of this nation as one nation under God on May 17th. I was honored to be in Washington, D.C. for that event. I want to discuss a little bit about the place that God has taken in our public discourse. And when Jesus' name is mentioned, it seems like people shy away or turn their eyes away, that we have been enculturated to think of that as just something we don't talk about in public. But I don't think God feels that way. I think God loves when his name is honored, and he is sovereign, and he is real, and he is over this commission. Thank you so much for allowing prayer to be the first thing that we do, that we just commit this time to the Lord. So I just want to read a declaration that John Quincy Adams made on 1837 on July 4th. Okay, this is how we used to talk about God in this nation. Why is it, friends and fellow citizens, that you are here assembled? Why is it that entering upon the 62nd year of our national existence, you have honored with an invitation to address you from this place, a fellow citizen of a former age, bearing in the record of his memory the warm and vivid affections which attached him at the distance of a full half-century to your town and to your forefathers, and the cherished associates of his youthful days? Why is it that next to the birthday of the Savior of the world, your most joyous and most venerated festival returns on this day, July 4th? And why is it that among the swarming myriads of our population, thousands and tens of thousands among us abstaining under the dictate of religious principle from the commemoration of that birthday of him who brought life and immortality to light, yet unite with all their brethren of this community year after year in celebrating the birth of our nation? Is it not that in the chain of human events, the birthday of this nation is indissolubly linked with the birthday of our Savior? That it forms a leading event in the progress of the gospel's dispensation? Is it not that the Declaration of Independence first organized the social compact on the foundation of the Redeemer's mission upon this earth? That it laid the cornerstone of human government upon the first precepts of Christianity? The Declaration of Independence denounced the one people assuming their station among the powers of earth as civilized, religious, and Christian people, acknowledging themselves bound by the obligations and claiming the rights to which they were entitled by the laws of nature and nature's God. A moral ruler of the universe, the governor and controller of all human power, is the only unlimited sovereign acknowledged by the Declaration of Independence. And it claims for the United States of America, when assuming their equal station among the nations of the earth, only the power to do all that may be done right.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Good morning.
Commissioners, Bob Yerkes again on behalf of consent item 13. So what is the public benefit of this project? The addendum is replete in the document created by the county that there is public benefit. It says there's severe The mutual provision of potable water serves a public purpose in the interest of both parties, which is your customers, your rate-paying customers. It says to avoid the disruption of service due to severe weather, mechanical failure, which prevents a serious threat to public health, safety, and welfare. This is their document. They drafted this document. They sent us the first addendum saying, because of what we find to be the public interest, we think that waiver of the administrative fee is a reasonable thing. It comes to 16 cents per your ratepayers across the county. I mean, it's a very small amount per ratepayer. We're going to be paying 50% of that cost now so that we get that interconnection into place, even though we don't have very much use for it except for 3 months a year. The county has total, if your plant goes down and you need water, we have 2 big wells and we can pump water to the North Shore system during this 2 years when you're trying to get it back up to capacity. So I submit there's a lot of public interest, a lot of public reasons to do what the county initially said they would do, which is to waive this fee for our homeowners. We're going to be paying that money now, even though it'll have standardized equipment so that when these things do connect, and I've had talks with the utility department, their long-term plan, as Larry said, there's no immediate plan to acquire our property like they did in Hastings, like they did in Ponte Vedra, but that's where the future is, as they're bringing these all into the system so they can do it at a lower cost and provide good service to all the residents of St. Johns County. So again, I'd ask you to look at this, look what the county initially said, and to find that there is public interest, there is public purpose in their own documents that they sent you, and I ask you to approve the alternate addendum that I presented to each of you this morning. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, anyone else? Come on up. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. I am John J. Nooney, Jacksonville City Council Resolution 2023-0819. I'm in Duval County, St. Johns County. I love you, and like a good neighbor, St. Johns County is there. Let me just share with you, with the hat, it's a play, FWS, Fishing with St. Johns County. It's a play off of the FWC, Fish and Wildlife Commission, state of Florida. It's all about tourism, heads and beds. And so, again, I just want to remind all of you and everyone, why am I here? Well, FIND, it's an acronym for the Florida Inland Navigation District, or ad valorem property tax money. 12 counties, the east coast of the state of Florida. In Duval County, we have Pat Calloway, who is new. In St. Johns County, Carl Blow is your fine representative. Part of their mission is access to our waterways. Okay, the next one. The second reason I'm here, it's Northeast Florida Regional Council. The Northeast Florida Regional Council represents 7 counties. Again, Duval County and St. Johns County are part of the Northeast Florida Regional Council. We all know who is in charge of the Northeast Florida Regional Council. It's Mama. There are 10 regional councils in the state of Florida. So today, after seeing the CBS 47 Action News story that aired yesterday, 6:15, there is no hurdle that the public access to the ocean, it can happen immediately. In Duval County, under the leadership of Ken Amaro, the chair of the Jacksonville Waterways Commission, the Duval County representative on the Northeast Florida has created the Parks Trust Fund. I'm only just down to 50 seconds. So today, right here in front of the Board of County Commissioners, I'm writing a check for $2026,00004, and then driving to the St. James Building, City Hall in Jacksonville, riding the elevators, then delivering this check and depositing it into an account till it's needed. So the question needs to be asked, that's down to 20 seconds, does the Board of County Commissioners of St. Johns County have a Parks Trust Fund that the people could donate to immediately? And so anyway, let's just tell the world, visit St. Johns County because your parks are great. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Diane Wilson. I live at 1297 County Road 13. You've seen me before here with my red shirts, but today we're not wearing red shirts. I'm here as a private citizen and a resident of the Riverdale, Tecoy, and Racy Point area along Scenic Highway 13. We have an initiative that we'd like to show our spirit, our pride, and our history of St. Johns County and our nation's 250th anniversary coming up. We'd like to display American flags on the power poles, and I understand that requires a special dispensation or approval. So that's why I'm here today, to see if a 7-mile stretch along County Road 13 that we could display approximately 120 U.S. flags. Our community is willing to make that investment in the flags and do the work themselves. We're just looking for your guidance and help in either contacting Florida Power and Light and/or if you have the authority to give us that authorization. We'll do all the work and the expenses and the removal once the anniversary is over and the celebration has displayed. I have an example here of what it would look like if, oh, there it is. I put one across the street just without approval. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than approval, but now I'm here seeking approval. I emailed you early this morning, so you'll have more details. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, anyone else? General public comment at this time.
Oops. I didn't mean to pick that up.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tom Reynolds, 1240 4 Mile Road, 32084. And these are, as you know, these are vapes and medical marijuana containers. And I am throwing in a disposable cigarette lighter. Folks, you know, I want to talk about the last meeting. There was a big question, and it was great that Chairman Murphy asked the contacted attorney about Facebook and people talking about it up here. You know, I know that all of you folks get attacked on Facebook. I see it all the time. And I just want you to know it was worse when the St. Augustine Record used to take it. Because I got to tell you something, I've been attacked for years on these things. And I always look at it as, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Folks, anyways, the latest is the Facebook, the local lion. Now, they've had a good time making fun of me. I can live with it. Now, I want to tell you something, though. When they use a word that I don't like to be associated with, and the word is war, W-A-R. I'm not at a war with anybody or anything. The closest I could come to a war is 3 mosquitoes in my house the other night. It was pretty ugly. Anyways, folks, I seek redress, remedy. That's all. And I seek, as you know, a deposit on these things. They should not be going in our trash. You might find this number hard to believe, but since 14 days ago, the last meeting, I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you that 40,000 of these type of things are going in the trash. I want to remind you, a battery, a big chunk of plastic, and the leftover chemicals of nicotine into the trash. So that's all I seek. And but anyways, the local lion did a video of you. I don't know if you've seen it. And, it really wasn't bad, but what it got me thinking about is that, this here, right here, could bring you 5 all together because, this is protecting the environment. Now, when I wrote that AI ordinance, that was just a sample. I'm just like the quarterback. I got the ball. You got the ball now. And all I'm asking is that you take it up because you can assign somebody and truly, We have to do a better job for the environment because you know who wants us to? The Father Almighty wants us to do a better job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. Chuck Labanowski, 1748 North Capero. Now, we've got a cutback going on right now, or possible cutbacks due to the property tax. And I've been in touch with Parks and Rec in regards to Passetti. And I'm not just Passetti I'm concerned about. What about the other parks that we've already funded? Passetti Park has already been funded. The work has already started. And right now, my understanding is the parks are on hold because of the funding. But if the funding is already there, why are we putting these on hold? We should be moving forward. Passetti Bay's been promised a park out there for years. They were promised a library, never came through. They were promised a park. It's just now starting, but now it's going to be on hold again. We need to rethink these items that are already approved and the funds are there. Yeah, I know we have to look at the future, but if the funds are there and we've already started the project, it's already been partially cleared. So the work is being done. Now it's on hold. Nothing's been done for the past few days. And there's some homeowners out there that are really concerned that they're not going to get that park anymore. They don't even have access to the parking area that's there because that's all fenced off now. So we need to look at the items that have already been funded and move forward and not stop them. Because there's some big parks that are supposed to be built, and we need to start working on it now. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, anyone else at this time for general public comment? Come on up. Good morning.
Mr. Tom, please. BJ Kalady, West City of St. Augustine. There we go. Can you zoom in a little bit? The sheriff's decision to not post all mugshots, which are under his control, of those arrested in St. Johns County continues to jeopardize the safety of everyone in St. Johns County. Remember, cigars can be smoked on county beaches, but not cigarettes. Public comment should remain before agenda items. Please Google Save Our Homes. Please Google Save Our Homes. Some government employees have already begun scare tactics about the property tax reform proposal. The Florida Association of Counties, also known as lobbyists, are already urging lawmakers, also known as government employees, to vote no. 2 minutes, wonderful. Everyone can write this down then in 2 minutes. Please vote yes in November for property tax reform proposals. Please vote yes in November for property tax reform proposals. Don't listen to scare tactics. Our problem is because of votes that have occurred in this room. And if some of us have been coming to these meetings for quite a bit of time, there seems to be a true division. 3-2 votes, 3-2 votes, 3-2 votes, 3-2 votes. So remember that when you get an opportunity to go vote, please vote yes in November for property tax reform proposals. I have a whole minute left to talk. What should we talk about? Let's everybody on the podium up there. 2 of you are. Maybe we can get the other 3 to do it. We got 47 seconds. Let's all smile at the people paying your salaries. Okay, are you smiling? Uh-oh, come on, you can do it. You can do it, come on. Oh dear, it's still a 3-2. We need to smile, okay? And just enjoy going to vote because we are in a nation that we can do that and other people can't. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, are there any other general public comments at this time? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment.
Okay, we'll go right to the agenda. We're going to
Could
skip.
I-
Go, I'm sorry,
Can
go
I
ahead.
make a comment?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. I just, only because of the time constraints, because we've got America's 250th coming up very soon, can we address those flags that they're asking for on State Road 13? I would love to ask legal what, if anything, can we do at this time? Because it is going to be right around the corner as far as the 4th goes.
It is. You can talk about it. I would suggest that just from my experience in other jurisdictions that even though it's a wonderful site, sometimes it creates a safety and traffic issue with line of sight with cars driving, depending on the placement and the size of the flags. So I would suggest if you want to give any sort of direction that that the speaker communicate with Public Works at your direction to make sure that anything that is placed safely.
Okay.
I would ask for consensus from the board to direct Greg to get with the speaker. Are you still here? Yes. Okay, raise your hand. Would you do me a favor? Would you just come over here and let Ms. West have your confirmation, your contact information, and we'll get Public Works to get with you. Thank you very much. Great idea. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything
Thank
else?
you. Thank you so much.
We have a time certain issue for number 1, so we're going to go straight to number 2, agenda item number 2. Mr. Patty, you are certainly here and you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, good morning. Our budget presentation usually has a certain amount of pressure associated with it, but it's even more so as we have our first summer intern cohort here with us as well. For our office, as you may know, we have a high school, college internship program, so they're here observing y'all's business and our presentation, so no pressure. So we've got a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to pull up. While that gets situated in the past, my presentations have been very quick as it relates to the numbers that we were requesting from the county. I'd like to take just a couple of additional moments, if I can, just to walk through about the complexities of our budget and why projecting our budget in June and July is so challenging. And our next steps try to help mitigate that, as well as our efforts at the state level. Ready to go? Very good. All right. So just to reorient everyone, our office. Uh-oh. There we go. I think I broke it. Wayne? There we go. Sorry. All right. So our office provides critical service to the county, courts, and residents every day. One of the most striking characteristics of our office is that we have roughly about 1,000 different statutory duties that cut across county, courts, and residents. A lot of it's the checks and balance and helping protect the public's trust in our government and our courts. As we've seen over the last 6 years since I've been in office in December 2019, our demand for our services have grown considerably. And with those services, all of which touch upon life, liberty, and property, we've seen growth across the board, whether it's the courts, finance, customer care, recording. All of our services, our staff, our people, our activities have grown over the last 6 years. One statistic that's not on here that is striking as well as we went from 6 total judges in St. Johns County to 9 now as well. And that all requires staffing in the courtrooms. That all requires staff with our office as well. Now, our budget itself is extraordinarily complex. It's not a traditional government sense where it's one funding stream, but indeed we have 3 funding streams that support our office. There's the state court funding, which is from the state itself. It's generated by all the fines and fees that the courts generate. Across the state, it all goes into one entity. It's our state corporation that gets funneled back down to all 67 of us. And that happens every year, and it's based on projections and so forth. And we get what's called a budget authority. Number 2 is what we're here to discuss today, which is our traditional funding model for the county, of asking the commission of the county to help support our services. And then our last is our recording, which is more of a traditional business sense. It's based on demand, access to our services by residents, customers, and by residents, customers, not just St. Johns County, but we also get many customers from across Northeast Florida, a lot of Duval, Clay, and so forth, because our service and the quality of our work is so significant. And between all of these, whether it's in the courts or it's in recording, the prices that we offer is fixed, and it's been fixed since 2008. And so while we are operating a 2026 office with 2026 labor costs, we can only charge 2008 prices. So a marriage license, recording a marriage license, costs the same today as it did back in 2008. And that's just not a sustainable model. And indeed, that's one of our chief legislative pursuits, is updating those fines and fees and those prices. So this process graphically is laid out with the summer. Generally, it starts before June, but that's really kickoff, like today, presenting our budget, proposing our budget. But as you see, we put our budget to you all June 1, but we don't know what we're getting from the state until August and really until September. And so we have a general idea of what we can expect. We're expecting a relatively flat budget. So we hear from our state corporation. We just don't know until the revenue estimating conference meets in August of what the next total state funding is projected to be, and from that, what we can anticipate in St. Johns County. And then lastly, there's the recording revenue, which is again, like a traditional business that receives no government funding, but at the end of every fiscal year, those dollars are turned back to you all and turned back to the county. And that's what we found as well, is through this budgetary process, each year we end up with the reversion. And so if you look at FY23, we sent back roughly $300,000. Last year, we sent back almost $800,000, and this year we're anticipating sending back about $500,000 across 3 funding items, line items: the comptroller's budget, which is our combined court subsidy, and then our recording revenue. And much of these reversions are generated, whether it's demand on our services, whether it's positions that we weren't able to fill, or personnel moves or so forth, because primarily a lot of our dollars are spent on personnel services. You have to have people in courts. You have to have payroll staff. You have to be able to have our finance teams and so forth. And it's one of those areas that no matter how much we lean on technology, you still have to have dedicated public servants who can carry the work every day. So moving on to our county requests. So our budget is based on 3 principles. Number 1, attracting and retaining staff able to meet our critical needs and responsibilities. Number 2 is meeting the county's COLA. And then lastly, this presentation is what we're calling our high water mark. We wanted to present what provides OMB and everyone of where we anticipate as the highest amount that we would request based on the inputs that we've received so far, with the understanding that this number will most likely go down around August, September, and that'll be our final budgetary request. So more to follow on that on our next steps. So our first budget is our combined budget. This combines our comptroller's office, minutes and records, and our inspector general team. We're requesting a 13% budgetary increase. This and our follow-on budget, both primarily, again, made up of personnel, and it's the COLA request, as well as some competitive pay adjustments in order for us to be able to match some of our county peers and others in order to be able to help us, again, attract and retain talent. If you break these numbers down further, over 90% of our costs go to personnel services. We do run, my estimation, a very lean operating office, but again, our mission and work requires people, and we have to be able to attract and retain. Now for the second budget, it's our court subsidy budget. We are requesting a $900,000 increase for this budget, but again, similar to last year, and I stress this, could not be more grateful for you all of helping us overcome our funding gap that we have from the state, because we are one of the least funded court operations in our peer group, which are similar counties across the state. And thanks to you all's trust and support in us, we're able to help attract and retain our staff as we fight at the state level to fix our funding issues. And so that's where this court subsidy budget comes in. I mentioned last year, and I'll say again this year, our goal is to bring this number to 0. And we have a plan. We've got a plan that has made some progress over this past year, and a plan that will continue to hopefully progress in the next legislative session. On this budget as well, again, it's very much on the personnel side versus operational, over 90%. Then we get back to the road to 0. So we have 2 goals with this program. Number 1, reducing our court subsidy budget to 0. So that court subsidy budget goes away. That is our goal. Number 2 is to reduce our overall need from county. So that combined budget, I would like to be able to start seeing that number reduced as well. And our plan to help make that happen is by utilizing CPI, so the Consumer Price Index, to update our prices from 2008 to 2026. Now, what's interesting is that this past year, we had a CPI bill, I'll get to the next slide, that passed the House, and it was co-sponsored by 1/3 of the Senate, but it only dealt with civil court. So any other court recording was not part of this bill. It also phased in the CPI, so it wasn't an initial jump to 2026 prices. And thanks to the legislative process, the bill, while it made it through the House and made it through the Senate, didn't pass. But in turn, by not passing, it opened the door for our policy bill to get through, which was signed into law earlier, I believe it was in May, early June. And that bill is estimated to bring in an additional $80,000 to St. Johns County alone in FY27, and then projected in FY28, almost $200,000. And we expect that number to increase over time as well. So we're already starting to see some additional impacts or additional revenue coming in from the state. And those dollars will be allocated to help reduce that court subsidy budget. For CPI next year, we are going to go for all court funding, so that's civil, criminal, as well as updating the recording fees as well. Our initial estimate is that it will generate over $2 million if it passes. We feel like we're in a pretty good spot for it. One of those co-sponsors with the Senate is the incoming Senate president, and it passed the House 117 to nothing. So we're in a pretty good standing. I don't like to count my chickens before they hatch, but I think that we're in a pretty good spot that going into this next legislative session that we should hopefully maybe be successful moving that ball further down the line. The last column that I'll bring to y'all's attention is our budget request. So we have some services that we offer that we do not get reimbursed from the state for. So injunctions, one, no fee cases, and others that we've requested, and jury, that we've requested funding from the state. And it's currently in this year's budget awaiting the governor's signature. That amount comes to roughly $76,000. So as you see in Tallahassee, we are working diligently in order to help fill these funding gaps. But we have more work to do, and again, just incredibly grateful to you all for your support in helping us overcome that gap. The investment in us now allows us to accomplish our mission today, with also recognizing that come in the future that our impacts or burden that we have on y'all to pay for our services is lessened. So last slide I have on here is our next steps. So we are, again, working closely with our Clerk Association to develop the legislative goals for next year. So that's the CPI, maybe some additional policy initiatives, and also some of those fee cases. We're monitoring our state funding for the FY27, and we'll reduce our county budget request by any increase. You have my word on that. And then lastly, we're going to be submitting a revised budget letter to county in August with the final request. And so going all the way back to some of our principles, our goal is to help meet the county COLA. So where the county COLA comes in, we will reduce our amount to that in order to match all on COLA. And then there are likely to be some additional reductions as well as we get through the summer and start seeing where our final budget numbers will come in at. So with that, and on behalf of the 139 employees, their families, thousands of customers, and stakeholders, thank you for your support. Thank you for your time. And I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns.
Okay, Commissioner Joseph, you have the floor.
Yes, I know that the increase is for the people that work for you. It's wonderful, but can you run this more like a business and really go after the revenue? Because there's opportunities that you need to take advantage of, we know. And then Mr. Hudson's getting us some grant opportunities in Tallahassee, correct? Or
for our office?
Yeah.
Yes, well, helping us with our funding, yes, ma'am. So he's been, in my estimation, instrumental of helping us get the policy bill through, as well as our progress on the CPI.
So the $75,000 that we got
all
from
of those,
him. Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And then I had a constituent ask me a question. If you don't mind, can I just ask it so if she's watching, she can get an answer?
Yes,
there's a line item. She wants to be able to get into the line item online of the budget, but it only goes so far. But, you know, just like examples would be if you say contracting, who they are. Is there any way to see where the money goes?
Yes, absolutely. So for the contractual services, that's primarily to the ERP consultant to be able to help provide support for our ERP, for the ERP services and the implementation. So that's been budgeted for that amount in order to be able to help us ensure that the ERP is fully effective and online with us.
Actual names.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Sorry.
If I go ahead, sir.
Let me go to Commissioner Whitehurst. We might we might get the same bird with that. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Patty, you said that you guys are one of the least funded county courthouse operations in the state. Is that an overall revenue or is that per capita?
So it's based on per capita and it's based on total revenue as well. So the way that it works on the court side very quickly is that we get what's called a budget authority from the state. And I'll just use round numbers. We get, let's say, $1 million. The state will say, you can only spend $1 million. If I bring in, or if we bring in 1.5 mil, that $500,000 goes right back into the pot. So we are capped at that $1 million. And that's based on how they project the revenue and then breaking it down 67 ways. So we're capped at our budget authority. Our budget authority in FY26 was $4.4 million. And so if you take the 4.4 million, you add it to our requested total court budget now is at 6.7 million, and it is still less than what many of our peer counties receive from the state alone. And so the job still has to get done. We still have to take care of our people. We still have to take care of the mission, take care of your constituents, take care of the court system. And so that's why this court subsidy budget is so instrumental to helping us be able to meet that.
Thank you, Mr. Patty. You said in your slide, and you said several times, that you're running a 2026 office with 2008 prices. Those prices are capped by the state. That's a statute. So you can't just update the prices on your own here at the local level. You need permission from the state of Florida.
And it requires statutory change, and it's considered a fee bill, which requires 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, and then signature by the governor. So it's a high bar to cross. So.
It's just, Commissioner Joseph made a comment that I agree with. We'd like to see the county run itself like a business, but I was in business for over 20 years running a small mom and pop operation, brick and mortar retail. And when my costs went up, I could raise the prices on the menu, right, so to speak. I can't imagine paying today's payroll with 2008 prices. That's harder to run it like a business when you're restricted by the state. You also, would you go back to the slide where you're turning in the unused funds?
So.
That's each fiscal year you're turning back some amount of money. What is the total? I mean, I'm trying to do some quick math. It looks like maybe 1.2 million over the last 3 fiscal years.
1.215, yes, sir.
What is the calculus for you and those in your office? Why don't you just keep the money just in case of a rainy day? I mean, you guys have obviously been good stewards. You're turning back everything in that you don't use. What is the logic in doing that?
Well, and thank you for the question, Commissioner. So we have, what we have with our office is a reserve fund that was set up many years ago in order to help us as a potential rainy day fund. But over the last couple of years, you guys have been so gracious in helping us meet y'all's COLA that we wanted to be able to offer back the reversion and without even requesting of putting the additional dollars into the rainy day fund. So we would be absolutely open to it, but in the sense of not trying to overextend and just being partners with y'all and recognition that we are asking for additional fiscal support, that we offer the reversion back. But if y'all decide to reallocate the reversion at the end of the year, we'd be definitely open to it and welcome it.
Well, I'm going to just make a final comment. We know every penny is being scrutinized right now, especially at the local level, and it should be. Every penny matters. The way we spend every penny certainly matters. It just gives me a great deal of comfort to see that there's a track record of you being a good steward of the money that you've been given. So that's my final comment.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. And I'm glad I actually had a question about the page that's up right now on the top line for comptrollers. What was so different about 2024? Why is it only a little over $17,000?
So I'll get the specifics on the line item about why the number was where it was. But generally where it comes down to is it's positional fills. So during this time period, we were trying to expand the Inspector General's office to be able to continue to offer like audit support and investigatory support. So we had positions that were created, but might not have necessarily been filled. And so when the positions are created but they're not filled, then those dollars go unspent. And so at the end of the year, we send them back to county. So if you looked at FY23, that's where some of the positions were created. Some positions were created, they were filled, they might have been gapped, and then that caused some of the numbers to drop and then they come back up. But I'll find out specifically and I'll provide that back to you, Commissioner.
Oh, that'd be great, just because it is so different than the other years. So thank you.
Yeah, it's one of those where I like to, excuse me, on one hand, I'm very much of the mindset that when we ask for, I like budget and actuals to be very tight together, right, from a business perspective. But I also recognize that sometimes there are external factors that will play a part into the budget numbers contracting, expanding. We might have someone that leaves the office that was at a more senior level, may take time to fill that position. That's going to increase the reversion back to county. And we're not one to spend frivolously. Like we want to be diligent with taxpayer dollars. They don't belong to us. But we are here to take care of our mission. So sometimes those numbers, they do fluctuate at times.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Joseph, you have the floor.
Yes, I just want to clarify the revenue statement. There are things that are not controlled by the government for revenue. And I know you have a beautiful little wedding set up and people pay to have their weddings there. I know at least 5 people who have done it and they loved it. But there are other opportunities to bring in revenue in your department, correct?
That are outside the statutorily, yes, ma'am, but they are very.
Okay. Well, maybe we can get creative and figure out another way. So,
no, and thank you for that.
Thanks.
For us, a big part is the statutory requirements of being able to help update those, because those really are the chief driver. Some of the areas that, to your point, is like we offer wedding photos as a service, but it doesn't have nearly the fiscal impact as saying the actual marriage licenses themselves. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from the board? Public comment?
At this time, we will take public comment on agenda item number 2. Come on up.
Tom Reynolds, 1240 4 Mile 32084. Commissioners, the clerk of court does a good job. I've had business at the clerk several times over the last few years. But I want to tell you, I can't give the clerk of court an A rating. And I want to tell you that something happened last fall. A really good woman, middle-aged woman, was arrested at the beach. And truly, it shocked me. Just as much as if one of you women were arrested. It took me back, like, how could this happen? Well, I conducted an investigation, and truly, the woman was being stalked by a St. Augustine Beach police officer named Sean Moran. But this is what it has to do with the clerk of court. The most important job at the clerk of court is to have an assistant clerk of court at first appearance. And that assistant clerk records something. And it's a very, very powerful job. This woman asked for an attorney, a public defender. The form on the clerk of court's website is unsigned. She wanted an attorney. That assistant clerk of court presented to the judge and said, she doesn't want an attorney. To me, that's a very dangerous person. And I want to tell you something, folks. I learned a whole lot, and I'm not too happy. I know you probably know this. The St. Augustine Beach Police Department is the worst police department. They have absolutely proven beyond a speck of a doubt they're corrupt. When they let the guy go for running the red light with 3 loaded guns in the car, smoking marijuana, that was David Shore. See, I want to tell you something. I like Brandon Patty. I like the service I get there. But after what I learned about this case, and that public pretender, Matt Metz, oh my God. He didn't even know that a homeless person can't get a bail bonds. To me, Matt Metz, the public pretender, lives up to the name. And he's nothing more than an undercover stooge for the most derelict individual that I've ever come across. And his name is R.J. Larissa, the state attorney. That nobody has done as much dereliction in their job as Ralph Joseph Larissa. Thanks for taking public comment.
Thank you. Anyone else?
BJ Kalady, West City of St. Augustine. Can you explain to the public why, which is good, we can have public comment for this constitutional officer and we didn't have it for the sheriff? Now, are we going to have it for Ms. Vicki so that we'll understand and maybe do some research, because usually we didn't have any public comment with that other constitutional officer, but today we're having it for Mr. Patty, which I appreciate, but we need to know what the procedure is. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else at this time? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment on agenda item number 2.
Thank you so much for your presentation, sir. I appreciate it. You are free to go.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. Thank you.
Do we have time to get one more? Okay. This agenda item number 1 concerns one of the county's ongoing lawsuits. Mr. Commando, do you have a statement?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So at this time, I want to inform the board that I do need your advice related to a pending lawsuit, which is Scott Bullard versus St. Johns County. As a party to that lawsuit and under Section 286.011 of Florida statutes, this allows the board to meet privately in order to obtain advice, direction, and to take action.
Okay, thank you. Because of that, a closed attorney-client meeting concerning the Bullard lawsuit will now commence in the executive conference room and is estimated to last about 15 minutes. The persons who will attend the meeting are me, Vice Chair Ann Taylor, Christian Whitehurst, Sarah Arnold, Krista Joseph, Deputy County Administrator Brad Bradley, County Attorney Rich Commando, Assistant County Attorney Ryan Ross, and the court reporter. We will now take a brief recess. My fault. We will now reconvene. Is that the right word? We'll go straight to agenda item number 3. The Honorable Vicki Oates, you have the floor, ma'am.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. Do you have my PowerPoint available? There we go. Okay, great. I'm here to present my budget, but I would like to take a moment and give you a little update on what's going on at the Elections Office. Since last year, we have been working on polling place changes. As you know, we came to the board, request some of our precincts be divided simply because of the growth in this county and additional polling places were needed. So while we were reviewing our polling places, we also looked at some of our smaller precincts. We have been able to combine locations. So even though we have increased our number of precincts to 55, this year our election day polling places are actually down by 1 compared to the 24 elections. We're going to continue this to best use our workforce on election day. We will have more changes coming in 27 because of the growth of the county. But our polling place changes are finished. They've been released. They're on our website. Any affected voters have been mailed voter information cards and have been provided the information. So we're ready to go.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but can you just clarify that's general? You're talking about the general only in November when you look at this?
No, it's the same for both the primary and the general election for this year.
Oh, they'll both be the same.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's this is only the precincts that were affected with our polling place changes.
Okay.
We will be opening 42 election day polling places. That complete list is on my website.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's been a busy time the last 3 weeks at the Elections Office. We have candidate qualifying going on. This year, we actually had 99 open seats that we were collecting papers from. You might notice that the largest group are CDDs, that's our community development districts, as they continue to come online and my office takes over the candidate qualifying. That continues to add seats that we provide and qualify candidates for. Qualifying ended last Friday at noontime, and our ballots are set. We actually had 128 candidates file. Not all of them qualified, but 112 candidates qualified this year for the 26 elections. The same thing was going on at the state with state and federal candidates. We will, on Friday, receive the list and certifications from the state so we can move forward with our ballot certifications. And vote-by-mail ballots overseas and military for the primary election will go in the mail on July 2nd, about 10 days later, followed by the domestic run of vote-by-mail ballots. So we are off to the races. Speaking of candidate qualifying, I wanted to, as an informational piece, provide this information for our voters. We have a situation on our ballot this year called a universal primary contest. For both county commission races, as you all are familiar, both races, only Republican candidates qualified. So what that means is both races will be settled in the primary election and will not move forward to the general election. This is a very specific circumstance that has not happened since 2016 for county commissioners. Because it becomes a universal primary contest, both of these races will be open to all registered voters in the county, and everyone will be eligible to vote on county commissioners this year. It will look a little odd because they are Republican races, but those 2 Republican races will appear not only on the Republican ballot, but also on the Democratic ballot and the nonpartisan ballot as well. So our August primary election is open to all registered voters in St. Johns County. I've left for each one of you our Favored Citizens Guide. It's a publication, as you know, that we mail to our voters. They are in print, and they are going in the mail starting next week. There will be 133,052 of our guides delivered to every residential mailbox in St. Johns County, including post office boxes that are residential. This is some of the best money that I spend, where I can put information on the upcoming fall elections in our voters' homes. The mailing is so large this year, we've requested that the post office split the mailings. So the first shipment will go next week, will be to all St. Augustine zip codes. The second mailing will go the week of the 29th. Those will go to Elkton, Hastings, Ponte Vedra, Northwest St. Johns County, and the remainder of the county. So every voter should have them, or every citizen should have them in their home by the July 4th weekend. I want to remind our voters, we have wonderful resources available right on our website. We will receive the final list from the state qualified candidates this Friday. Beginning next week, you'll see 2 additions to our website. Under election dates, we will post our final qualified candidate list. We will also post our primary election candidate list, so everyone that will be on the primary ballot will be on the specific list. One of the best tools for our voters on our website is called My Voter Status. Voters can click on it, type in their information, pull up their own voter record, and look at their information, verify their address, polling place. This is where voters are going to be able to see their sample ballot online. Those will be available in mid-July, and they will be mailed to all voters about 3 weeks prior to the election. Additionally, vote-by-mail ballots can be requested by My Voter Status. Once voters request their ballot and they are mailed, they vote them, return them back. They can go back on our website, verify that my office has received their vote-by-mail ballot, and also they can verify that their vote-by-mail ballot has been counted. This is a great tool that we have, and I encourage voters, if you have not already, please use this, become familiar with it. So with that, I will go right into my budget that I have submitted to this year. As normal, I provide a printed publication for you all with my line item request and descriptions and justifications for each.
Just a moment.
I just want to, so we don't go beyond the election part. So if somebody wants a mail-in ballot, do they do it now, or is there a date that they can start asking or requesting a ballot for mail-in?
They can do it now.
They can do it now.
Do it now while you're thinking about it.
Okay, sounds good.
If you haven't already, some people may have made a request earlier in the year. You can use the tool, My Voter Status, and look and see if you already have one on file.
That's
If
cool.
you don't have a request, now's the time to request it. There is a deadline for requesting them, and it's about August the 6th. That's for the primary election.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Taylor, one more question, please.
Don't mind, sorry, before we get into the budget, I had a question, since we're talking about election. With that universal primary that we're going to have this year, that sounds like it's kind of unusual. Now, how does that work? Is it just the most votes? Is it, because I know with the school board, they thought it would be done, and then it went into November. Like, how does that work with all the candidates? Do you just have to have the most votes?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have to have half. Okay, I was just curious.
Thank
you.
My budget is on a 4-year cycle. What affects my budget the most is the type of election, the number of elections, and anticipated turnout for each election. Currently, I am in year 3. Year 3 is a gubernatorial primary election. You will see that it is a bit lower on the 4-year cycle because the year 2 was a presidential general election. And then the budget that I'm presenting now is year 4, which contains the gubernatorial general election. And why? Because it costs more to conduct a general election than it does a primary election. Look at the difference in the turnout. There is a vast difference in the number of voters that turn out and participate in our elections. We have more days of early voting. We have longer hours of early voting, additional early voting sites, and of course that requires staffing as our poll workers as well. So for this election, for the general election, we plan on using 10 early voting sites. These are required to be government buildings. And so we try to use the facilities that we have currently available for this year. So the fiscal impacts are obviously the cost of conducting a general election. We, in 27, we're looking at, due to the growth in the county, addition of 3 to 4 more precincts this year. And then generally the cost of doing business has increased as it has with everyone. We do a lot of mailing at my office. My mail is required to be first class, and the postage increases are killing me. So I'll just leave it at that. So my increase this year is about a 7.5 increase, which amounts to about $330,000 over last year's budget. I do have 2 separate budgets, one for the office and then one for the election. I also like to discuss, when I present my budget, my 5-year strategic plan and some of the effects that are not only to all county agencies, but my office as well, as the county grows. And our registered voters continue to increase. That greatly affects my office. That was April 26. We are now, by the end of this month, we will be at 240,000. And we're looking at 245,000 potentially for the general election. So this is what 18 years of growth looks like for my office. I've been in the same space for the last 18 years, even though we've had massive growth in the county. And it does affect every single aspect of my office, from staffing to our precincts, to early voting sites, to the number of workers required to provide services for our voters. So a little history to our county. My office has been in the same building for the last 30 years. We were the last office to move out of the downtown courthouse in 1996, which is now the old Casa Monica building. In 2008, we added 3,700 additional square feet. At that time, we had 124,000 registered voters, almost double that now. And in 21, I came to this board and requested more space. In 22, I was allocated approximately $2 million to be able to expand the office. We did receive from the clerk's office some additional warehouse space, which worked great because it was adjacent to my warehouse. And I know you've all been to the office and walked through our warehouse, and you've seen that. Great collaboration from the clerk, and I thank him again for that. That enabled us to stay in one location and not have to split our office and operate out of an off-site location for our warehouse. But we need space, and it's been planned for. And some of the immediate needs we have are the 35 to 40 part-time help that we use at election time. I have no places for them to sit, I have no bathrooms, and I have no places for them to park. So I've been working with county to request additional space. There are plans in the works. I've been working with the architect to design plans, and that is in process now. Some of our additions will be about 4,000 square foot increase, an additional training center on the south end of the building for the additional poll workers that will be coming online, and then addition to the north end of the building for expansion of our canvassing boardroom and addition of public restrooms to the office. So that is my request, that I have the support of this board to continue this project. And with that, I will be happy to take any questions you have.
Okay, any questions from the board? All right, let's do a public comment.
At this time, we will take public comment on agenda item number 3. Come on up.
Tom Reynolds, 1240, 4 Mile, 32084. Folks, I got to tell you, we are part of history. When I just heard Supervisor Oaks say that everybody in the county is going to have a crack at voting, I said, Father Almighty, thank you so much. Because what this really means is, for the first time in a long time, no simple hater of democracy signed up to throw a monkey wrench into voting. Because it's no secret that the way majority is registered Republicans. So this election, I mean, honestly, I got goosebumps over this. And it really is because I used to always think, what kind of person runs down, fills out a simple form, calls himself a write-in candidate, but in their mind, their heart and their gut, they know they are really just preventing other people from voting. Anyways, I would like if Supervisor Oaks could clear something up for me, because I can't really get an answer to this. Over at the Supervisor of Elections website, there's a sign, no campaigning in that building. You know, which is beautiful. You can't have people campaigning when they're signing up or even really being political. But I was wondering if Supervisor Oaks could clear up, does that mean this building? If somebody came in here and let's just say they decided to pass out flyers, re-elect Krista Joseph to all the people in between, would that be breaking the law or breaking the rule? You know, and honestly, I got to tell you something. I've asked a half a dozen really prominent people this question. Could somebody come to this microphone and put on the overhead, vote Krista Joseph? Could they wear a shirt? I mean, where do we go? And I'm really hoping that our absolutely wonderful Supervisor Oaks could answer that question. So whether it's in this county building or is it over in the courthouse building, is that law, no campaigning, apply to all county places? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Judy Spiegel. I live at 101 Green Willow Lane. And I can start the clock. And I wanted to talk about the transparency of our election process. Usually Vicki Oaks is very good at talking about that, and I've been involved for a couple of years now, or a couple of elections, in training as poll worker, et cetera, and being in the office and working, and we have got a tremendously secure election process. Every one of you can be fully confident that your vote counts, that your vote is not scrutinized. If there's an issue, they scrutinize it. They will get in touch with you to try to find out and determine what you were trying to do with your vote. We have a really, really good, secure process, and there really isn't wiggle room for any kind of shenanigans to go on. So I just want to encourage people, go out and vote. Your vote counts. It really matters. It's important. Even though this is a middle year election, it's a really good thing. And we have a super incredibly wonderful department here, Supervisor of Elections. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other public comment at this time on agenda item number 3?
BJ Kalady, West City of St. Augustine. I guess I didn't hear an answer to the question I asked before. How come we didn't have public comment whenever a constitutional officer, sheriff, showed up? And yet we've had 2 public comments on these 2 that came to explain their budgets to us today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else at this time? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment on agenda item number 3.
Okay, any other comments from the board? Thank you so much for your presentation today, Ms. Oakes. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Let's go right into agenda item number 4. Okay, well, this is a quasi-judicial, so if we could start with Commissioner Arnold. We're gonna, now you can go.
No record of any meetings.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Joseph.
2 or more emails and no meetings.
Okay, Commissioner Whitehurst.
No record of any emails, meetings, or phone calls.
No record. And Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, 3+ emails and no meetings.
Okay, I got no emails from residents or staff and no meetings. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. My name is Mike Euro with the Euro and Associate Civil Engineering, and we're here today to ask for your consideration for the rezoning of 3025 Old Moultrie Road. What we'd like to do, currently the zoning is open rural, and we're asking for your approval to rezone it to RS3 to be in alignment and consistent with all the other houses along Fox Hollow Lane. You generally got some maps for you and some justification and a proposed site plan. The current or the future land use designation, as you can see, is residential C. This is the current zoning, and as you can see, all the other houses along Fox Hollow Trail are RS3 zoning. This one parcel has been kind of segmented out, and it's open rural, so we're just simply asking to be consistent with the other parcels along Fox Hollow Lane. There's an overall location map of the parcel and an aerial photograph. Justification, we don't believe there's any unreasonable impact on the characteristics of the area or the traffic flow. We don't believe it's going to be a public nuisance or result in urban sprawl, and no impacts on the natural environment. Here's a proposed site plan of what they're looking to do. And as you can see they're just looking to subdivide the 1 ± acre lot into 2 single-family homes. And as you can see on the attached exhibit, we also did reserve a future right-of-way per the county's requirement and comments. And so just, again, here simply to ask for your approval to rezone this parcel from open rural to RS3. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the board? Let's go to public comment.
At this time, we will take public comment on agenda item number 4. Seeing none, we will close public comment.
Thank you so much. Back to the board. Allow me to make a motion to enact ordinance 2026-19, approving rezoning 2026-01 at 3025 Old Moultrie Road based on 4 findings of fact as provided in the staff report.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. And that passes 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Let's go to agenda item number 5, and that is also quasi-judicial. We'll start with Commissioner Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had 4+ emails. I also had a meeting with the applicant, Sam Pally. We discussed the project. No phone calls.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Joseph.
Yes, same thing. I had two plus emails, and I did meet with Mr. Stampoli and the team.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Whitehurst.
I had a meeting yesterday with Sam Pauley, Jacob Smith here in the office. We discussed the site location, the interconnectivity, and the 2 waivers. I had 2 emails and no phone calls.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, I had 2+ emails, and I just had a meeting with Sam Pally yesterday.
Okay, I also had, this says 1+ email, and I had a meeting with Sam Pauli yesterday and staff, and we talked about the request and some of the PZA decisions. So you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you. Blair Knighting with Kimley Horn. My address is 12740 Grand Bay Parkway West, Suite 2350, zip code 32258. Thank you all for the time this morning. So today we're going to talk about the Ashford Mills PUD major modification. It's a specific modification just to a specific parcel, not the entire PUD. Today we have the applicant, Mr. Sam Pauley, he's purchasing the property, myself, the planner, and we also have Bill Schilling, our traffic engineer. So the future land use of the parcel is Res C, which allows neighborhood commercial. That's the current land use designation, no change there. And the zoning is PUD. A lot of people know this one as the Shearwater PUD instead of the Ashford Mills PUD, just because it's the majority of the project. And we're just asking to modify one parcel. So here is the aerial that shows you the parcel in the PUD. It's actually the entrance. So if you're going west on 210 and you turn left into Shearwater, it's that vacant parcel. And what's interesting about this is Mr. Sam Pauley, who's purchasing the property, owns the adjacent commercial property. So essentially what this major modification is requesting is to make these parcels work together instead of siloed. So if another person was going to purchase it besides him, they would be siloed. So we think it's a more efficient design with this major modification. And so, oh, my PowerPoint. Darn it. So there's no change to the existing uses or intensity of the PUD, so I just want to make sure that's clear. This is really more of a design standards request. So we are asking for a few things. The first thing is an interesting request because right now the Land Development Code requires PUDs to have interconnectivity where feasible to adjacent parcels. And I guess whenever Shearwater PUD was put into place, that wasn't a requirement at the time. And so we're actually just updating the MDP text to allow that, which is really not a waiver because we're meeting code. So we're just adding the MDP text to meet code. And then we do have 2 waivers. The 2 waivers are linked. The first waiver is a reduction in the development edge. And I know this is a lot of words. I have a picture to kind of visually show what we're asking for in the next slide. So we're asking for a reduction in the development edge along just the eastern parcel, not the other eastern property line, not the other property lines, just the eastern, because Mr. Sam Pauley owns that parcel to the east. And currently, the eastern parcel already has a 20-foot development edge. So we're requesting to go down to 10 feet on our side. So it would be a total of 30 feet between the 2 parcels. And they're both commercial uses. So 30 feet between the same use, we feel like that's plenty buffer. And so we're keeping that 10-foot PUD perimeter buffer that you're used to seeing. All the PUDs that you guys see come through all have that 10-foot PUD perimeter buffer. So we're not asking to get out of that one. And then so the second waiver is a sidewalk in that PUD buffer. When we met with staff during our pre-app, the fire marshal did raise a concern about making sure people can exit the buildings in the rear safely. So that's why we're requesting the sidewalk in there, and just to make sure that we can exit safely. And then the other request is more of a wish list request. We think it makes for a better design. We're not sure we're going to be able to do it because of stormwater requirements. The eastern parcel that Mr. Pauley owns has a stormwater pond on there. We're expanding that to allow for this development. And we're hoping that when the civil engineer gets into design that he can make an efficient pond so we can have an exit out right only. So the Shearwater residents can use this site and exit into their neighborhood. And we think that that makes for a little bit better design of this site, but it really is contingent on the stormwater design. And then we are revising the MDP text to allow dumpsters in the islands because this site is so tight. It's only 2.3 acres. We really want to make sure we try to allow for the dumpsters for all of the tenants. And because the islands tend to be pretty large in St. Johns County, as long as we meet the LDC requirements, we're just asking for that. And it's not a waiver. So visually, this is I'll help you kind of, so if you see the blue arrows, those are the interconnectivities between the two parcels. So we're trying to make the site flow together versus siloed. The second request is the reduction of the development edge to 10 feet. So we'll have a total of 30 feet between the two parcels. The third request is that potential right out only. We aren't sure if we're going to be able to make that work, but we think it will help the Shearwater residents exit. And then the sidewalk in the PUD buffer. And then we don't have any, the dumpsters in the landscape islands. And then we don't have any wetland impacts on this site. So at PZA, we had some agency members ask about the traffic flow and how all that works from 210 to Shearwater and the interconnectivity. So Bill and his team did an analysis on the traffic, and he's here to just kind of talk about that, just to kind of educate you on that. And I'm going to ask him to come forward.
Thank you, Blair. I'm Bill Schilling with Kimley Horn and Associates. Excuse me, 12740 Grand Bay Parkway West, Suite 2350, Jacksonville, Florida 32258. And I'm a professional engineer licensed in Florida. And as Blair said, the concerns were raised at our initial PZA meeting. And we essentially asked for a deferral so we could have an opportunity to do a traffic study to address the concerns that were raised. And I would say the concerns were generally raised because this building is the Goddard School, and the PZA members heard Goddard School and were concerned about school traffic and what may happen with queuing, et cetera, related to the school. So we did site observations. We also research to better understand how the school worked. And it is named Goddard School, but it is actually a preschool and daycare. So this is a center for very young children, not your typical school, not like a county school. Oh, thank you. Where you have large queuing and large drop-offs. And this school serves about 100 families. Many of them live in Shearwater. And again, so we did site observations out for morning drop-offs. And what we observed is, again, these are very young children. So each family member actually parks their car and walks the children in. Unlike school, unlike a traditional school, there is not a set start time. So these children are dropped off between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. every morning. And so we did not observe a large queue. In fact, we did not observe a queue at all. We did counts out on the site, and again, the PZA members raised concern about what might happen with additional traffic on the northbound left and northbound right at Shearwater Parkway. And so what we found, we did an analysis of the with connection versus without connection. And what we did find is that there was a slight increase in northbound left traffic. And in fact, in the AM peak hour, we saw and predicted a 9-trip increase of the lefts and roughly a 1-trip increase in the PM peak hour. So very small increase on the left turn lanes. But on the right turn movement, which is the more critical movement and the heavier movement, what we observed was actually a decrease in traffic volumes. And in the AM, we looking at roughly a 44-trip decrease, and in the PM, a 37-trip decrease. And that's primarily happening because with this interconnection, those families that are living down in Shearwater are actually able to get in and to the school without having to get out onto County Road 210. So based on the analysis that we performed,
our view and the analysis demonstrated the interconnection was actually a good thing. And we had an opportunity to come back to PZA, share those results, and satisfy those concerns. So again, based on the analysis that we performed, the interconnection demonstrated improvements to the critical northbound right movement, which is the heavier movement at the intersection. So right now, from an engineering standpoint, we view the interconnection as positive for this site. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Blair.
Thank you. And so just kind of in closing, staff finds that the applicant's request is intended to make the site usable given its limited width. Staff does find that the proposed interconnectivity between the sites is reasonable and an efficient flow of traffic. And just some quick project benefits. I just want to make sure y'all received the support letters that Mr. Pauly was able to receive. Over 26 support letters from the Shearwater residents and surrounding neighbors really support this project. They're excited about it. It does provide that interconnectivity between these two parcels, a more efficient flow of traffic. There's no new access on County Road 210, which is really, really helpful. It is an infill development. It provides appropriately scaled commercial in a location where there's many residential developments. There's no change in the existing uses, and it does meet the comprehensive plan. And we did receive the unanimous vote from PZA. One thing I do want to bring up that staff brought up to me last minute yesterday, I'm going to do the overhead if that's okay. So we did update the whole PUD to be present tense, and when we did that, we made a Scrivener's error on page 13. We wrote is dedicated to the county because it used to say will be. And so the engineering department and Mike Roberson and staff requested that we put Trout Creek Community Development because technically that's who the road is dedicated to now. So it's just a Scrivener's error, but we needed to let y'all know because this is just yesterday, so. Okay. Okay, and I'm here if y'all have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Joseph, you have the floor.
Just a quick question that came up yesterday. I got this email yesterday and I talked to the owner. They asked if the two buildings being built at the location would be only one-story commercial buildings.
So the intent right now is to keep them one story. If you look at our plan, I'll show you. Let's see. So if you look at our plan, we have building A. I'm going to use my clicker here, see if you get it. Building A and building B. So our intent is to build them as one story right now. And because this site is only 2.3 acres, we are very limited on pond parking and building. So I don't anticipate going any higher than one story. In addition, in the northwest sector, we're actually limited to 10,000 square feet per acre. So we're limited by our parking and our ponds and our floor area ratio. So the intent is one story right now. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Let's go to public comment.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we will take public comment on agenda item number 5. Seeing none, we will close public comment.
Okay, back to the board for a motion. Commissioner Arnold, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Motion to enact ordinance
2026-20,
approving major modification 2026-02, Ashford Mills PUT, based upon 6 findings of fact as provided in the staff report.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. And that passes 5-0. Congratulations. Thank you. Let's move right into it. Agenda item number 6. Again, this is quasi-judicial, so I would go to Commissioner Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've had no records of any emails from residents or from staff, no meetings since we last heard this item.
Okay, Commissioner Joseph.
The same. No meetings and no emails.
Okay, Commissioner Whitehurst.
Record of 3 emails, no meetings, no phone calls.
Okay, Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, I had 3+ emails and a meeting with Catherine Whittington, Bill Schilling, Randy Hamill, and staff.
Okay, and I also had no emails, but I did have a meeting with the applicant and with staff. So with that, you have the floor, ma'am.
Can we get my presentation?
Yeah, it'll come on. Just give it a second to come on, and then you can control it.
Okay. In the meantime, try this one. This one works. Got it. My name is Catherine Whittington. This is Gulfway Center PUD. My address is, for the record, 236 San Marco Avenue, St. Augustine 32084. We're having technical difficulties here. Okay. With me here today is Randy Hamill. He's the project manager of Gulfway Center LLC, the owner of the property. Byron Peacock, certified professional wetland scientist with Peacock Consulting Group. And our civil engineer, Bill Schilling, is here with Kimley Horn and Associates. But before we begin, we just want to thank you for the opportunity to bring this application back to you for reconsideration, which Randy Hamill is going to speak to you about in just a moment. Okay. It's kind of crazy. Went too far there. I'm not going to go back through the entire presentation that we gave you before because you've already seen it, but I'm just going to give you a short refresher on what the application is about. Let's see if the pointer works. Well, pointer's not really working either. Yeah, it's far away. This one, yeah, I can't get it together. That's it. We need it turned on, Bill. Yeah. Okay, got it. Got it, solved. Okay, this is Gulfway. Got it, thank you. It's located in the northwest quadrant of the I-95 IGP intersection, that's International Gulf Parkway. It's an already approved non-residential PUD, originally approved in 1997, and it happens to be the last remaining land undeveloped in this northeast quadrant. As you can see, it's an infill parcel surrounded by residential development. You can see the developments you're used to. Bandon Lakes is here, 8 Winds Apartments here. This is a Tree of Life. It's part of this PUD, but not subject to this application. Here's the NEQ Townhome, Parkland Preserve. Over here is Markland. Mm-hmm. But the laser's working now. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So we counted all the residents in this quadrant that are either constructed or already approved in the surrounding projects that will be able to use the Gulfway goods and services if once it's developed. This results in 5,498 residents internal capture trips east of I-95 and the IGP intersection. Okay, so these are the 5 modifications that are requested in this application to update this nearly 30-year-old PUD and are needed to better position it for successful development of a quality, high-end commercial project. First, though, it's important to note there's no increase in the already approved 221,000 square feet of development that's remaining. And also, there are no waivers from the Land Development Code. So the first is the 221,000 of already approved commercial, retail, and office uses to be located anywhere in the PUD. Second, remove development acreage and location limitations that have severely limited their development options, and I will show you what these limitations mean on the next slide. Third, eliminate the requirement to preserve the isolated wetland on site. Our wetland scientists and engineer will discuss the wetland in just a few minutes. Fourth, add church and large places of assembly as allowable uses, and it's to be developed in a 10-year phase. You may remember this. This is the existing MDP map. It dictates the acreages and floor area square footages and where they must be located. This is an antiquated PUD and it's unusual. Your staff points out in the staff report that other similar projects don't have these limitations. This box right there, it's impossible to read, but it lists specific acreages and how many square feet can be developed on each acreage. They originally planned the commercial, this was St. Joe, commercial retail here to be in the front and office only in the back. But in the back is where there's additional greater acreages than in the front. And it's proven to be unworkable. This is the wetland we'll be discussing, breaking up the project in creating this kind of a orphan parcel, and the label on it says parking and other permissible uses. So it's not even clear what that parcel is able to do. Let's get this one. Okay, so for the Randy Hamill's going to come up and talk about the reasons why we're back here for reconsideration.
All good. Good morning. Thank you. Randy Hamill, 13544 McCappa Road, Jacksonville, Florida, 32246. Thank you again for giving us the opportunity to come back before you and kind of state our case. We did a poor job. Let me just start with that. Last time we were here, and I was, we did find some additional information regarding these wetlands that we think is, well, very beneficial, or I guess to our cause. We went back and did a lot of digging, found some additional elevations, 8 or 9 inside those wetland areas, as well as then went and got some historical data on the elevations of the 3 ponds that are on this site. All 3 of these ponds were dug 40 some odd years ago when St. Joe Paper owned the property originally. They're within anywhere from 20 feet to 50 feet of the actual wetland itself. And the normal or natural pond elevation or average water level in those ponds is anywhere from 1 to 3 feet lower than the lowest point in these wetlands. So this wetland has been draining for 40 years into the 3 adjacent ponds. It is dry. We call it a wetland because that's what it was designated 40 years ago. It's a dry patch of land. And we'll have Byron come back up and he will walk back through a lot of that. I have a picture if you would like to see that. That was taken about 6 months ago. But there's no water standing in this, and there hasn't been for a while. In addition, there's an overflow structure in this wetland that we know 40 or 50 years ago when the previous owner had it, he dug ditches to feed his cattle. There's an overflow weir that flows into the ponds, again, from this wetland. So it's been draining, and it has been. So it's not viable. The St. John's Water Management has all but said so by removing the easement on that. They would not have done that had they thought it was a viable wetland. When PZA heard this, we went through this rather extensively with Dr. Hilsenbeck. He even asked our scientists, what can we do to make this wetland viable? And he said, you can irrigate it. And maybe in 20 years, it will become viable again. Well, having to irrigate a wetland that's just going to drain into a pond is not a viable option for anybody really to have to do. There's no species there. There's no frogs. I mean, it's been kind of said. It's a barren, dry piece of land that's in the middle of a development, which is hindering development. Since we were in front of you several weeks ago, the owners group has received 4 or 5 offers, all for Live Local. which has seemed we keep getting drawn back to that position. We want commercial on this space. Commercial on this space is what St. Johns County needs. It helps the tax base. And, you know, Live Local will not. That's not the direction we want to go. That's why we didn't ask for it. But having commercial opportunity here is going to do, like Catherine mentioned, a ton of traffic capture, over 5,000 trips on a daily basis if we can provide commercial in this space. I can say, I can't give you names, but I can say that we have continued to have discussions with moving forward with our development as we would like on a commercial basis. And we are in contract discussions with 2 major medical users that everyone in here would recognize, definitely. A major hospitality group, a major grocer that is not Publix, as well as a high-end restaurant. So all of those things will create a great positive impact in this area, especially in this last parcel in the northeastern quadrant. And that's why we would like you to reconsider and look at the information that we were going to present. And I'm going to have Byron come up now and walk back through some of the specifics on the hydrology of the wetlands and how that affects with the pond elevations being different. Thank you. Here, Catherine, if they want to see that, they can see that.
What's that? Okay. So Byron Peacock with Peacock Consulting Group at 12058 San Jose Boulevard, Suite 164 in Jacksonville. And what Randy Hamill said, I think, might not have been the best introduction, but it was the truth in that I think there are 2 ways of viewing wetlands. One would be for the average person. If you walk into a wetland that's been drained for decades, it doesn't hold water, you don't get wading birds, there's no fish or turtles. It doesn't look like a functioning wetland any longer. Someone like Dr. Hilsenbeck on the PZA would say that's a relict wetland. It's basically gone. And I think since those ponds were originally constructed, the one to the north was expanded, I think about 3 years ago, and the edge of it has now moved 300 feet closer to the wetland. So if anything, the drainage is accelerating. When I was asked before, how would you evaluate the wetland? I've been an environmental consultant for 40 years, so I click into consulting mode. So my clients are real estate developers, and they're going to ask me, if it's that degraded, am I getting the wetland for free when I go to the water management district? I think they will look at it and say, it's so degraded, we're going to release the conservation easement, but you're not getting the wetland for free. It's kind of like a minimum assessment score, regardless of the type of wetland, whether it's surrounded by development or drained. So as a good consultant, you kind of hedge, say it could be probably no higher than a 4 or 5. You'd argue a 3, but they have to budget a number for development. Real world, from your experience, how much would it be scored? Whether it's to you fair or not, the real world is it does get a score times the acreage. That's how much mitigation you have to be prepared to pay for. So when I was asked before, I clicked into consulting mode and rambled about UMAM, the scoring, the number system, but they're both true. So I think a Dr. Hilsenbeck would look at it and say this wetland is drained, it's really not functioning, it's probably inappropriate to keep it in a commercial development that would otherwise be surrounded by a parking lot. The answer I gave, I think, is also correct in that you will be hit up for some amount of mitigation.
And they already paid it.
And they've, well, yeah, $392,000.
Allow us a question if you don't mind. Commissioner Joseph. You have the floor.
Do you have you said you had a picture? I think I have a picture of the wetlands over there too, if you could put that up, thank you.
That's a picture of the ditch that goes along sort of the western boundary. And that's the lowest part in the wetland, and you can see from that even the ditch is dry.
All right, and it is a habitat though, correct? A habitat?
Any place that has vegetation in it will provide habitat, but in terms of wetland and aquatic dependent species, that's how we have to view it, as a wetland, what's it providing as a wetland.
All right, I'm waiting for my picture. Oh, that's it straight ahead, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
That might be the...
Well, it just, you know, there's a
Southern
lot
end.
growing there, so I just want everyone to know it's not a dead piece of ground, so anyway.
No, I think the vegetation is still alive.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions of the, of our wetlands expert? Okay, you can continue your presentation.
I kind of covered it all.
Thank you.
Went back to 5. Let me see if there's anything on your other slides.
I kind of already covered everything.
Okay.
Unless you want to look at the aerial.
I think you covered it.
I covered it.
So, okay, thanks, Myron.
Okay.
We're going to ask Bill to come up, the project engineer, and discuss hydrology and drainage pertaining to this wetland. Bill?
I might need that one. Perfect. Thank you, Catherine. All right, good morning. I'm Bill Schilling with Kimley Horn and Associates, 12740 Grand Bay Parkway West, Suite 2350, Jacksonville, Florida 32258. And as mentioned, I'm a professional engineer licensed in Florida. Again, what I'd like to do is just take a couple of minutes from an engineering standpoint to speak about what has happened with this wetland from basically from a stormwater, from a hydrology standpoint, and why it is degraded and why it has been degrading over many decades now. And it's really driven, one of the key factors, not the only, but one of the key factors is it's being driven by the way the stormwater system has been designed around this parcel. And so showing this exhibit, the pond, the two ponds to the south are designed with a normal water elevation of 27.5 feet, so 27.5 feet. The wetland itself, the lowest point in the wetland is 28.5 feet. The higher point, so basically the wetland elevation ranges from 28.5 to 30. And so what is ultimately happening with the water levels in the pond is we're actually getting a drawdown of the water levels, which is degrading the wetlands. So the water via groundwater is migrating to the ponds. And so from an overall looking down view, so really the wetland is surrounded, and in very close proximity are three different ponds. And so this northern pond, which was constructed roughly 30 years ago, so it's been in place for roughly 30 years, its normal water elevation is at 27, which is even another half foot lower than the two ponds to the south that were constructed roughly 25 years ago. Again, the wetland, that elevation ranges from 28.5 to 30. So the water ultimately has been migrating into the pond to the north and to the ponds to the south and has been essentially dewatered. So those ponds are pulling the water level and have been pulling the water level down in the wetland. This is a view of the wetland to show those elevations. So the actual deepest part of that wetland is roughly kind of the northern center at 28.5. But you can see the elevations vary through the wetland, and as you get out to the edges, you get up to 29 and 30 feet. So again, just talking through what is happening out there. So one is the wetland and the way these ponds have been set up, basically they don't meet today's standards. These were things that were permitted 25 to 30 years ago. Honestly, if they were permitted today, they likely would be done differently. And as well, this wetland is isolated. It is not connected to any other wetlands in the area, so there's no functional value as far as interconnectivity goes of these wetlands. It does not contribute to a larger system, and certainly is not contributing to a larger wetland system or known tributary, for lack of better terms. So I think this is where things get interesting, is talking about what the mitigation is. So we've shown a lot of pictures of the few acres that we're impacting and that they're degraded and that they've gotten worse over time. What we haven't shown is what the trade-off is for that. And the trade-off is the mitigation is ultimately for this project, the project has paid into the St. John's Mitigation Bank, which is a very large, well-functioning system that ultimately the wetlands within, so this is the boundary of the system. This is in our same basin, so this is in Basin 5. And again, so this is a little bit south and a little bit west of where this site is, but roughly 3,600 acres. The wetlands on this site ultimately have water and waters that flow into the 6 Mile Creek wetland system and the Tukoi wetland system. So this is a much higher functioning and, even more importantly, regionally significant wetland system and mitigation bank as defined by the St. Johns River Water Management District. And then I'll close with saying, and I know that this was mentioned by the applicant as well, is the St. Johns River Water Management District is the state agency that regulates wetlands and water bodies in the state. And so they are what I would say is the ultimate authority on wetlands and wetland impacts. And we have been through the process with them such that they have approved the release of the conservation easement on those acres on the site. And they have approved the amount, the $392,000, and the mitigation credits that were required to be purchased from this bank. So these are all items that the Water Management District has reviewed and approved. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Catherine.
Thanks, Bill. So before we close, I would like to mention why approval of this application is beneficial and important to St. Johns County. It will help to correct the current tax base imbalance that does currently exist within the county of roughly 85% residential to 15% commercial. As you know, commercial development generates more tax revenue, creates jobs that stay in the county, and keeps dollars spent by employees and residents here instead of being spent outside the county. It also helps fund infrastructure improvements and doesn't create the same level of public service demand that residential consumes. This information was presented to you by your OMB, I think at the last hearing that you had, about the potential effect of the Save Our Homes referendum on St. Johns County. If it passes on the ballot, on January 1st, 2027, homestead exemption will increase to $150,000. In 2028, to $250,000. Future possible full elimination of homestead property taxes, because there are homestead property is 53% of the tax base versus 31% statewide. This will result in, and this is a pretty significant typo, approximately $200 million revenue impact to St. Johns County if full implementation occurs. And just a couple of quotes from the staff report. Removing restrictions on commercial uses within the PUD aligns this development more closely with the policies governing mixed-use districts established in the comprehensive plan. And in comparison, the St. John's Interchange Parcels PUD and the World Commerce Center PUD are two nearby large planned unit developments that permit commercial uses and have specified entitlements. Their MDP maps do not restrict commercial uses to specific categories within those developments like it does within this one. And so finally, just to mention, unanimous 7-0 vote at PZA, including from Dr. Hilsenbeck. And with that, I and the team are available for any questions.
Any questions from the board?
I do.
Okay, Commissioner Taylor, you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for the additional information that was shared today. I do have a question for you because I do think it's interesting, all the commercial that is interested in going there. I'm a little bit confused though, because you're trying to say that you don't want to do live local, but yet when asked previously if you'd be willing to waive that, the live local, you denied that, doing that. Have you changed your mind on if you don't have any intention of doing live local, what would be the problem with waiving that?
In the unlikely event that the commercial market crashes, they need to keep a development option open of that, but they have no intention. It's probably less than a 1% chance it would go live local. If they wanted to do a residential project, we would have added it like we did large places of church and assembly. So in addition, it's a state mandate. It's not local government authority, and your county attorney can advise you on it. It's questionable whether a waiver of it is even enforceable by local government. And I would invite your county attorney if they want to expound on that.
Through the chair to Commissioner Taylor. So we asked them to waive, but that doesn't mean it doesn't run with the land, and so they could go to a different owner. So even though they waive, it is a state mandate, and so it is arguable the enforceability of it. We have stated that previously. And so if they were to sell the property, it wouldn't necessarily run with the land, and so we've had this conversation. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Let's go to public comment.
Okay. At this time, we will take public comment on agenda item number 6. Seeing none, we will close public comment.
Okay, back to the board. I would accept the motion or make one myself. Motion to enact ordinance 2026-21, approving major mod 2025-11 Golfway Center PUD based on 6 findings of fact as provided in the staff report. Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's vote. Okay, that passes 3-2. Let's get one more in for lunch. Oh, is it a long one? We're going to 7, so it is quasi-judicial. Please forgive me, Commissioner Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a record of 11 emails. I think I've had about 10 or 15 more roll in since we've been sitting up here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Joseph.
Same here. I had 11, but over the last night and this morning, at least 30 or more. And I met with James Whitehouse and our team.
Thank you, Commissioner Whitehurst.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All the emails that Commissioners Arnold and Joseph mentioned, no record of any emails or phone calls, but I did have a meeting with Mr. Whitehouse yesterday here in the office.
Okay, Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, I had at least 20 emails on this, as well as a meeting with Mr. Whitehouse yesterday.
Okay, thank you. I've met with James Whitehouse, the applicant staff. This is 13 plus, but I got a little push last night. So, Mr. Whitehouse, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, for the record, James Whitehouse, St. John's Law Group, 104 Seagrove Main Street here in St. Johns County, Florida. I am here on behalf of the applicant owners, the Romaine family. Tim and Courtney are here with me as well, and they're looking forward to starting their new family here on this property. And so we're here for rezoning 2026-02. This property is located in Volano Beach, just north of the Volano Bridge and this neighborhood. Again, you can see this is all developed with single-family residences down in this area itself. Subject property is located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Surfside and 3rd Street. The site's approximately 0.26 miles west of A1A Coastal Highway and specifically addressed as 177 Surfside Avenue. It is 3 lots within residential C on part of it, conservation on the western side of it itself. The It's located currently in what's called CHT, which is Commercial Highway Tourist, which allows a lot of commercial uses, specifically highway tourists, highway commercial uses. Why this area was zoned Commercial Highway Tourist down along the river possibly could have been because a marina was expected or something like that back in the day when we put in our zoning code, because it was just north of the old Volano Road, the old Volano Bridge. But there's no real understanding why it was CHT. However, as you see from the plat in your staff packet, as well as from the development itself, this is all residential single family in this area itself. This rezoning from Commercial Highway Tourist to RS3 is a request for this 0.75 acres of land, these 3 parcels. This is a cleanup rezoning action, would align the property with its vested land use, as you see from the vesting letter within your packets, and the established residential character of the neighborhood. The site consists of the 3 legally platted lots, and the family intends to use this subject property for their single-family residence and additional single-family residence to the east. They're requesting this rezoning. The proposed rezoning, as I said, would align the property with the vested land use and would permit the development of 1 single-family residence on each of the legally platted lots of record as allowed by law and stated within your vesting letter from staff that was acquired earlier this year. This is to bring them in line from the incompatible Commercial Highway Tourist zoning designation to the appropriate RS3. As you can see, RS3 all around this particular property. You can see these are the 3 lots here, 1, 2, and 3 in CHT. The property immediately adjacent to it to the south was rezoned at some point in the past from the CHT to RS3 and now contains a single-family home as well. As I said, this established residential area has already been approved as vested for residential single-family uses, and they're asking for these 3 single-family residents, 1 per lot. Commercial Highway Tourist zoning is inappropriate for this area, and the area is surrounded by an RS3 district. The property is immediately adjacent to this RS3 district as developed. This rezoning merely brings the property in line, as I said, with the current development of RS3 all around this itself. Evaluations and conceptual site planning with our experts already show that the applicant can comply with all the other technical requirements required from that zoning district. Your planning staff has routed this to all the appropriate departments. There are no open comments. From the staff report, it stated the subject property meets and exceeds the requirements and is consistent with the residential zoning pattern established in the surrounding area. It's unclear why these platted lots were zoned commercial designation. Additionally, the adjacent property located at 3025 3rd Street was rezoned from CHT to RS3 pursuant to Ordinance 2019-9 on February 5th, 2019. Notably, this property also carried the future land use designation of conservation, and it was vested as well for single-family development. You see, your staff report also includes a compatibility chart as well as a compatibility picture showing all of the uses around this. They are all single family, and therefore, based on our code and the law, this particular use, as requested, is appropriate for this particular lots. Our planning agency reviewed the request in full on May 21st and made a unanimous recommendation for approval. Your planning and zoning agency unanimously found the request is in compliance with our comp plan. The requested uses are compatible with the surrounding properties, and the planned and present development of the area is similar to the surrounding uses, shows that this request is reasonable and appropriate for approval. The staff received no correspondence or phone calls, I guess, in the last few weeks or last few days since the staff report came in. They have received some. Staff does offer a motion to approve, and we ask you for reasonable consideration of this, and I can answer any questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions from the board? Sure. Commissioner Joseph.
I just wondered if you were going to talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, so
thank you.
So we can talk about that, as you see from your staff report and from historic preservation staff analysis itself. Our code itself contains 14 pages of review that's going to happen on this property. It really has nothing to do with the zoning of the property. The zoning of the property, as you heard from the staff in our staff meeting, as well as you see in your staff report, is whether or not this property is compatible for single-family residence. As you see from the vesting letter, as well as from the expert staff, that this is appropriate, and you can see it by what's surrounding it. These 14 pages in our code, which are in Article 3, special districts, Part 3.01 are cultural resources preservation. And I think you're going to hear some commentary about it, so I can address it more afterwards. But really, this is what our code addresses how this is supposed to be reviewed. And we are already, the Romaine family has already hired a consultant that's doing what they refer to in a lot of these emails as the HABS report. That's being constructed right now. And this has to happen. We are fully committed to going through this process itself that our code providers, and that's why your historic preservation staff is here as well, and they can tell you that's what's going to happen after this rezoning goes through. And I think and just to add on to that, I think some of the commentary came from a few members of that Cultural Resources Board, and you may hear from them today, and they fully well know that this is what's going to happen. If it's found to be a cultural resources, everything they're saying is accurate and true, or any of it's accurate and true, then they'll have to follow all the guidelines of this, and that's what we're having evaluated by our historic expert right now too as well. So we don't have any problem with going forward with that process. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, anyone else? Let's go to public comment.
Okay, at this time, we will take public comment on agenda item number 7.
Good afternoon. Michael Compton, 114 3rd Street in North Beach area. I'm here today. Barbara Jennis is a friend of mine, and she was unable to attend today, so I'm here to read her letter, and these relate to this particular item. Good morning, afternoon, Commissioners. Barbara Jennis of 6 Sandpiper Drive couldn't be here today and asked me to read this into the record regarding the proposed rezoning 177 Surfside Avenue in Volano Beach from commercial highway tours to residential. At first glance, this request may appear to be a simple zoning change, but let's be honest about what's really driving this application. This is about demolition and redevelopment of a property that contains one of Volano Beach's most significant historic resources, the Sinclair Lewis House. I find it curious that the applicant is simultaneously seeking a vesting letter that would allow 3 buildable lots, even though 2 of these lots are located within conservation area, and none of the proposed lots meet today's minimum lot width requirements. The only reason this is possible is because the property was platted before our regulations changed. This may make it legal, it does not make it wise. We all recently learned a painful lesson from the demolition of the Magic Beach Hotel on Volano's Main Street. Under current law, the owner did not need the Board of Commissioners' permission to tear it down. The same is true here. The applicant does not need your approval to demolish the Sinclair Lewis House. Yes, this is rezoning is about demolition. The irony should not be lost on any of us. Sinclair Lewis, America's first Nobel Prize-winning author, wrote the novel Main Street, a story about the loss of local character and the consequences of unchecked change. And now, on Volano's own Main Street, we have learned that the state has largely stripped local governments of their ability to protect the very places that give our communities their identity. For years, St. Johns County promoted itself as the slogan, 42 miles of beaches and the rest is history. Today, it feels more like 42 miles of beaches and the rest is gone. Once historic structures are demolished, they cannot be rebuilt. Once the stories are erased, they cannot be recovered. Future generations deserve more than photographs and memories. They deserve the opportunity to experience the places that shape the history and character of Volano Beach. I respectfully ask that the board to recognize what is at stake and do everything within its authority to encourage preservation of the Sinclair Lewis House rather than its destruction. Please preserve this irreplaceable piece of history in Volano's history. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any other comments at this time? Come on up.
Tom Reynolds, 1240 4 Mile. I would urge the commission to approve this request. I want to tell you, out of all the sections of the county, I find the people out of Volano the most clueless. And why I say that is that couple of those meetings I went to over there, neighborhood meetings, I mean, they were over there complaining about things that were approved years ago. And I'm always baffled by that. You know, the NIMBYs show up, you know, here after years of not being here. Also, too, is, you know, somebody did call me and they said, oh, you should speak for preserving this place. Well, you know, I don't have to tell you that was Slavinsky. And so I knew right away that there was something wrong, because nobody ever wants to tell somebody else what to do with their property as much as Ed Slavin. I like the guy, but I don't like to tell people what to do with their property. And if that house is so wonderful, well, then them people from Volano can break out their checkbooks and write a big check and have the, you know, maybe these folks will give them that old house before they wreck it. Because, you know, one of the things about living around here I've come to realize after doing a lot of listening over the last few years is I don't hear people that visit here talking about the old so much. I really don't. I know we're St. Augustine, we're kind of a history place, but once again, you know, I just wanted to make sure you folks know that I do not like to tell people what to do with the property they own. I sure hope that you vote to allow these people to build their home. When they show the maps, it looks like there's all homes around it. So once again, if these people from Volano love the Sinclair house so much, they should purchase it. They should move it to a lot and buy the lot and then all sit around and look at the Sinclair house. I don't know what good it's going to do anybody because, you know, there's a lot of great homes. In fact, where I grew up, there's a lot of great homes, and they had to put the bulldozer to them. So anyways, folks, please vote to allow these people to build their home. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time? Come on up. Hi there.
Leslie Keys, 207 Mission Cove Circle, St. Augustine, Florida, 32084. In contrast, most of you know that I have been doing historic preservation for nearly half a century. Take it seriously, and I take my love of literature seriously, so I have book socks on to reinforce the effort. HAB's documentation, Historic American Building Survey documentation, does provide a record of a building. It is part of a county requirement. It's the funeral eulogy. It's what we do to have a record of what happened when we lose a resource. It is supposed to be done as an absolute last resort. We're not at a last resort point. The information that I sent you, and you got 3 documents. You got the article from the St. Augustine Record about Sinclair Lewis that was done last Monday. You got the information from the public record that shows the single owner who purchased the property last fall for $1.2 million. It also shows on that graphic that I sent you that the county owns a piece of ground unbuilt on, which was platted originally to extend 4th Street, which has not happened. So there's already land right adjacent to this where the building, the Sinclair Lewis house, could be moved to. The house dates back to at least 1916, so it's 110 years old that we know of. We know from when he moved here. He wrote about it. I've been reading about him and his wife and their child, who was a military veteran that died during World War II. He was our first Nobel Prize winner. Recognized in the Nobel Prize website for his vigorous and graphic art of description and his ability to create with wit and humor new types of characters. Well, we have some characters here, and that's what we embrace as well, too. Okay? So we can take care of the building's future, still accommodate the owners, but recognize, please, this is absolutely a demolition request. The 3 houses cannot be accommodated with the existence of that historic house. The historic house was identified in David Nolan's book, The Houses in St. Augustine, and no, I'm not submitting this to the county. It's an autographed, signed copy of the book. But I did include the information and this description in what is public record and was sent to the county administrator and the county commissioners. Moving buildings. You also got a list of buildings throughout Florida that we have moved over more than 40 years, and yes, I've been involved in most of those, including them putting them on the water and floating some down. the river where they sit in Palm Valley to save them from St. Vincent's Hospital expansion. So we've moved large and small. Hyjima house movers and LaRue are still alive and well and move houses. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time on agenda item number 7?
BJ Kalady, West City of St. Augustine. I guess the big elephant was the historical building. How wonderful, how wonderful. Here we are in St. Augustine. I don't have all of her degrees. She does know about history, though. But that's one reason people come here. Maybe not to the county, nothing personal. But they go downtown for all the history. And I'm glad to know there's other history around. And I know there is. It's just that, first of all, I want to say publicly, and we know this is true, we're told what to do with our property all the time. Every one of us are told what to do with our property. Either we abide or we get fined. You know, you tell us how much you're going to charge us for our property. We can't say anything about that, but that's the big elephant. Okay, so here we go again. Our vote will be 3-2 to destroy this history. We're always getting these 3-2 vote. And we'll probably keep getting those kind of votes. But I think that Miss Leslie is what is she? She's an expert. That's an important word. A lot of lawyers like to throw that word around. But I don't throw it around. It's just an opinion of somebody that's went to school, okay? So, I hope I'm wrong this time. I didn't think I'm going to be right again. In 57 seconds, please vote to deny this request. And I know this is supposed to be the last thing before you go to lunch, but I think the people came in for the next one, so let's move it along. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time on agenda item number 7? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment.
Okay, back to the board. Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, thank you. I do have a question, Mr. Whitehouse.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you clarify, do they plan on doing it?
So
Destroying this?
that is not their intent at all. As I showed you earlier, there's 14 pages in your code that they have to go through. If this is found to be a cultural resource, then they have to go through all the steps within that, including our historians report, who have already started to do some research on this particular property. They do think there is some historical significance based on the fact that Sinclair Lewis stayed there for 4 to 6 weeks back in the day. So their intent is not to demolish this, but they need to keep all their options open, as well as parts of it. It's our initial evaluation by our historian has shown that the back or the eastern section was an addition. That's the part that goes over onto that eastern lot. And if that's an addition, it has no historical significance, it was added back in the 50s or the 60s, then maybe that part can come off. This is not an application for demo of the property itself. Zero chance of that. This is an application for rezoning. You've heard no evidence to say that single-family residential is inappropriate in this particular neighborhood. In fact, highway commercial uses, which are allowed, service stations, a restaurant, a marina, those are all the things that these people don't want in their neighborhood. And so this is just the first step to answer your question, to move forward with the evaluation of the property under the 14 pages within our code, to see if this is a cultural resource. If it is, then they have to move forward with the restrictions under that, and they're fully prepared to do so. As I said, they've moved into the house now, and they're really trying to make a go of it with their beginning of their family. And so this is how we do it, and I appreciate your consideration.
Great. I appreciate that because we did get a number of emails giving reference to it being a demolition.
Yes.
So I just want a clarification that
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
not voting to demolish this today.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Whitehurst, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I see Ryan Malk and Megan Wright back there. I didn't know if Mr. Malk or Ms. Wright would like to come to the podium and add some color. Okay. Mr. Legassi. Well, if anybody would like, from our county staff, would like to come add some historical context about this property and its history, I would certainly be grateful. It's not every agenda item that we get to delve into Sinclair Lewis.
Sure. Well, so from the staff level, this is Mike Lagasse, Growth Management, Environmental Manager. Thanks for the invitation up. We don't have an encyclopedia of history about Mr. Lewis, but we are recognizing the process going forward is where we'll be able to kind of gather more information. We've heard and done research through past news articles and reached out to Sinclair Lewis Society to ask them about whether or not Mr. Lewis or how much time he spent here. We haven't heard back from them on that yet, so I can't give you a history lesson on him, but I'm glad to answer any questions you have on the process or anything that has been discussed so far.
No, I just didn't know if there's any, if he authored any books or any parts of any books while he was in the house. I didn't know if there's any detailed history about his time in St. Augustine or Volano Beach. That's sort of really what I was looking for.
So what we've been able to surmise from our desks has been what's been reported in kind of news articles and in some basic writings, but that's why we reached out to the society. We wanted to get someone kind of from the horse's mouth, from their records, which that would happen throughout the process of this. If they had to go through the CRAS and all that sort of stuff, the cultural resource assessments and all those sorts of things that are part of the process. But we've only had available to us the kind of word of mouth and the narratives that exist on the internet. So I don't know if they're 100% true or not.
You can't believe everything you see on the internet. I think that's
what I've
fair
heard.
to say.
Absolutely.
Back to the agenda. That was just to satisfy curiosity. I like history. I like it a lot, and this was a unique item. Obviously, CHT is not compatible with the neighborhood. It's obvious. We don't want a gas station or a restaurant in that part of Volano Beach. It wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. This is a quasi-judicial hearing. We're considering nothing but the evidence, so I can support the rezoning as presented.
Okay. Do we have a motion going forward?
Yes, I'll go ahead and make that motion. Motion to enact ordinance 2026- approving rezone 2026-02, 177 Surfside Avenue, based upon 4 findings of fact as provided in the staff report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. And that passes 4-1. Congratulations. We're still a little early. Let's roll right on into number 8. Oh. Commissioner Arnold? Any quads? It should come on. All right, let's try it again.
There we go.
You have the floor. Well,
Thank you,
there
Mr.
it
Chair.
goes. There you go.
I had about 6 or 7 emails on this. I also had a meeting in the office with Lindsay Haga and Michael Fraley, as well as some of our staff.
Thank you, Commissioner Joseph.
I had 7 and more emails meeting with Michael Fraley, Tom Mundy, and our team.
Okay, Commissioner Whitehurst.
I met yesterday in the office with Jacob Smith from our Growth Management Department, Mr. Fraley and Mr. Mundy from Ferber, and I have about 8 emails, no record of any phone calls.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, I had 9+ emails on this and a meeting with Lindsay Haga, Michael Fraley, and staff.
Okay, I also had 6+ emails with a meeting with Michael Fraley, Tom Mundy, and staff. You have the floor, sir.
Good afternoon, Zach Miller, 3203 Old Barn Court. Really do appreciate you taking us up before the lunch break. This is for the property on the south side of State Road 16, just a little bit east of I-95. Here's an overview of the property. It's a little bit more than 8 acres. The reason it's a conventional zoning is your comprehensive plan requires that anything over 10 acres be a PUD, anything less than 10 acres can be a conventional rezoning. This is just a little bit east of the improvements that I think everyone has seen to the interchange of I-95 and State Road 16. This is just sort of an overview of those improvements and the money that was spent. This is the surrounding area. This is the commercial uses. We're right across the street from a Wawa, right next to a Zaxby's. Gas stations, fast food, there's some outside storage seem to predominate. We are backing up to some residential property. We'll be talking about that in a minute. This is the land use. It's mixed use per your comprehensive plan. That's the most intense land use category you have there. It's generally favored for more intense commercial uses. And this is the existing zoning and the proposed zoning. As you notice, we're asking for commercial intensive zoning. That's the same zoning immediately to our west, and partially it's the same zoning immediately to our east. I believe the one immediately to our east was approved last fall by this board, and then the other commercial rezonings have been approved over the last 20 years or so because it's a high traffic corridor near an interchange. This is the policy you get quoted a lot, so we're going to have our expert planner, Ms. Lindsay Haga, talk about compatibility.
Great.
Sure. I thought there were 2.
Great. Yep.
Hi, for the record, Lindsay Haga, land planner with England, Timms and Miller, 14775 Old St. Augustine Road. Before I jump into our policy that's written within your comprehensive plan, and then again in your code and in the staff report, it is interesting to look at the comparison of your existing zoning map, which is on the left side of the map of the screen, and then the proposed zoning with our proposal within it. We've highlighted for you the boundary of the mixed use district, and you see those pops of color or the quilt of different commercial zone districts that you have within your mixed use corridor along State Road 16 there at your interchange. Our piece shown in the yellow highlight is the last kind of holdout of open rural, which is your zoning district that you see more closely aligned with your rural silviculture and agriculture intensive land use categories, not your mixed use district, which permits all of your higher intensity land use categories. So all of that map, that graphic description is here to highlight for you this consistency with your compatibility policy that gives us as planners guidance, you, your staff, the citizens, as what we look at in the criteria for rezoning, from rezoning from open rural to commercial intensive. All of those use categories that you see within your zone districts, they're in the same intensity groupings that you have. We get direction from your land development code as to where to site them, fronting on your arterial roadways, your collector roadways, also getting guidance from your code and your comprehensive plan to interconnect to the property so we don't just rely on direct access to our arterials. And you see that we have available infrastructure in this location. Water and sewer availability letter provided. We have existing infrastructure and again, reflective of the existing uses actually in function on the corridor, as well as those that are permitted within each of those zone districts. This, Zach has mentioned, and in your staff report, I believe it touches on the lack of a site plan because you are presented with a straight rezoning or a general rezoning request, not your plan unit development type request. But we like to highlight for you and our planning and zoning agency and our neighbors what it looks like for the site. So you're on the screen, you see the 8-acre site kind of brought forward in color. You see the back southern half of the site is preserved wetlands. That's over 3 acres of the site. We're providing for a retention pond that would be adjacent to those uses, so it clusters in what would be the commercial uses into that northern 3 acres of the site. The orange arrows represent access points that we would propose to Green Acres, to State Road 16, and to Harvest Lane. And there's some direction to you from your staff regarding the improvements of Harvest Lane to match what you see in front of Zaxby's now as far as the drive aisles that you have. This site plan also shows one of the conditions we discussed and negotiated out with your planning and zoning agency regarding the expansion of your 40-foot B as in Bravo buffer along the adjacent residential homes that you see to the eastern of the site, and then maintaining your code standard for that arm or leg that comes out to Harvest Lane. That is a recommendation coming to you from the Planning and Zoning Agency to carry forward that condition, and it's presented to you in your adoption ordinance as that specific condition. One of the points, and we have with us Thomas Hatcher, transportation engineer with England, Timms and Miller, can walk you through kind of some of the more details on this. But when we look at zoning, we look at the other issues or uses that can happen on the site. And what this slide is intended to do is build on the prior glamour plan, if you will, and then give for you a scenario that's based on a gas station as the potential use and what that would capture as far as your existing pass-by trips. Those trips are those drivers that are already on your corridor and where they would divert to come versus a primary destination where they come from other segments or other roadway networks to the site. That's a difference in the traffic impacts that you look at in each of your reviews, and then what the additional trips would be as far as the segment capacity that we're presented with. This site plan also shows for you the connection points again on Green Acres, kind of hugged up to that northern piece that we have, access points on the State Road 16, and again in Harvest. And we would interconnect through that with our site permit review with your staff as to show that as a drive aisle connection from Green Acres over to Harvest Lane. Why is that our proposal? Besides, we get that direction from your code and your mixed use, land use categories, your comprehensive plan. This provides for a safer movement from folks on Green Acres to get to the access to the light at Harvest Lane there, right, on State Road 16. And so that's an improvement that's offered through this rezoning. So in summary, you have a staff finding of consistency. We've coordinated with our neighbors to provide them with some of those details leading up into your planning and zoning agency meeting. And your zoning agency did recommend approval by a vote of 5-1, again, adding in that condition that you see within your ordinance. With that, that'll conclude my presentation. I'll look to Zach if you want to add on anything else. And again, we have Thomas Hatcher with us with England, Timms and Mill if you want to talk about some traffic information.
So just in summary, because most of the zonings you see are PUDs, your code does allow you to condition them. So it is written in the recommendation from PZA or agreement with the neighbors to take that 20-foot buffer and up that to 40 feet in order to have some buffering. We don't have a site plan in it, but just given the nature of the site, it is going to be clustered around that 3 acres on the site. The highest and best use is probably going to be a convenience store or gas station. We have Thomas Hatcher here to explain that, one, the traffic generated will be either slightly less than 1% or slightly more than 1% of the capacity, depending on which way you go. 75% of it is going to be passerby. Most people that are going to gas stations are usually going elsewhere. That, and then we think the biggest addition that's a benefit to the neighbors that live to the south is that connection from Green Acres to Harvest. That'll allow that traffic. So instead of going to State Road 16, taking a right, having to do a U-turn at the light, or taking your life in your hands and trying to cut across 6 lanes of traffic in order to going west, this will allow them to get to the light and have a signalized access. We think that's a benefit. We understand the concerns of State Road 16, but under A1311, we don't think there are unreasonable negative impacts from this rezoning. We think it's consistent with the area, given the other zonings that have been approved in this area. And we think the connection will actually be a positive for the neighbors and the buffer. With that, you got any transportation questions or any questions for us? We're happy to answer them.
Any questions from the board? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thanks. Hey, okay, so this map that I got yesterday,
Yes.
are you going to do the 3.25 acres to be preserved on the record?
Those are the wetlands.
And not clear cut? Because otherwise I do
Yes.
think this is compatible. I just want to keep the clear,
Correct. We would not be clear cutting the wetlands. I don't.
on this map.
Correct, on that
Okay.
map. The 3.25 acres.
Okay.
I don't think it'd be financially feasible, and it's no benefit to us.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I had a
You have the
question.
floor.
It's regarding the neighbors to the south that do want to be able to cut through. Is that a legal move to be allowed to do that? Because I wasn't aware that that's...
Through the chair to Commissioner Taylor, yes, it is. And actually, this is going back in my 3 or 4 jobs ago from when I was a prosecutor. It's a 316-0714. The only time you're not allowed to avoid or cut through is if you're trying to avoid a traffic control device. In this case, you're actually trying to get to a traffic control device.
Okay, great. I did not know that. So thank you for that information. Sure. Did you already know that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know. I figured
It was
you
a
did.
great form of probable cause when people would pull up and they would try to cut around a stop sign or
Or go through a parking lot.
Correct.
Yeah, this is different.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
All right, let's go to public comment.
Thank you.
At this time, we will take public comment on agenda item number 8.
Tom Reynolds, 1240, 4 Mile, 32082. I would urge the commission to approve this. That gentleman was really correct. I've got a customer over there on Green Acres Road. It is a tough place to get out of now, so to make that easier to get out of will be awesome. And also, too, if there ever is any extra money or some money, that Green Acres Road, that is so dark, it's spooky dark. And I want to tell you, I was just recently there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got to admit, I locked my doors in my car until the man came out. Anyways, please vote to approve this. It would really help the traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come on up. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Deborah Cox. I live at 2801A Usina Road Extension. I've lived there for 20 years. I'm the subdivision that's going to be negatively impacted by this 7-Eleven. First of all, let's talk about cutting through a parking lot. I have a neighbor that has 4 dump trucks. Do you really think 7-Eleven wants 4 dump trucks cutting through their parking lot to use the red light? Because trust me, Leon will do that. In addition to that, we have a lot of people that use the sidewalks, bike riders, runners, e-bikes. We even had a unicycle the other day that almost got hit because they had headphones on. They weren't paying attention to a truck turning into Green Acres. The truck turning into Green Acres didn't see the guy coming until the very last second. Had to hit his brakes, almost had an accident from somebody rear-ending him trying to avoid this person cutting across. You put another entry on that section of 16, it's going to be a traffic nightmare. We have a hard enough time getting out now between 95 shutting down, which is like every week here lately, or just regular traffic, or the day after Thanksgiving sale at the outlet mall. Putting a convenience store there that has 4 other convenience stores within a quarter mile, is that really needed for that section? Do we really need another gas station? Let's talk about the wetlands. You just had a case where ponds actually drained the water out of the wetlands. What do you think a retention pond is going to do to that section of wetlands? We're already in a major drought cycle right now. We're already so far beyond. We're losing wetlands daily. You put a retention pond next to the wetlands, you're going to end up destroying that wetlands as well, because there's no way 7-Eleven can guarantee that won't happen. Just look what happened to that other parcel at World Golf Village. That section of State Road 16 is a nightmare. There's no way to avoid the traffic. U-turns from Chick-fil-A and everything else. I know you cannot stop the property from being developed, but let's be responsible and find something that would really benefit the county. Because I don't think anybody's going to drop dead if they can't stop and get a slushie on State Road 16 near Zaxby's. Please do not, because there's 145 homes back there that's going to be impacted by this. Please just think about the future. If they need to develop it, find something that would be more benefit, something we don't have there, not another convenience store. We don't need another convenience store. We don't need another Publix or another set of storage buildings. I thank you for letting us get this done before lunch, and have a nice day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Come on up. Good afternoon.
Yes, it is. BJ Clay, West City, St. Augustine. I wonder if there's anybody here, or if any of you listen to the PZA. Why did Mr. Hilsenbeck dissent? And he's a doctor. So that would be interesting to find out if anyone knows that. And I'm sorry the other people who live around Miss Deborah could not be here to speak up for their community. And really, another 7-Eleven. I don't know. I don't know if legally that you can really say you're against this. They'll get and then you get sued. I know. I get sued all the time, don't you? So that would be my concern, not getting sued, but really taking care of that area, because all of the OR is going, but I don't know legally what you can and can't do. But again, I really appreciate that Ms. Haga arrived here at 11:35 so that we could go ahead and hear this now before you all go to lunch, because that was the reason that we may have had to go to lunch first. I would have waited anyway. So I'm glad Ms. Deborah mentioned that too. Thank you very much. Are you going to vote? We're going to vote. I can't guess on this one. Let me see. A minute. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Let's go with 4-1 on this one. Okay. 4-1 vote to pass it. Maybe 3-2, but I really got the oh, some of you have started smiling and you wouldn't smile before. Oh my goodness. Let's go with 4-1. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else at this time for public comment on agenda item number 8? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment.
Okay, back to the board. Commissioner Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Motion to enact ordinance 2026- approving the rezoning 2026-02 177 Surfside Avenue. I'm on the wrong one, aren't I?
Sturbridge 16 commercial.
Motion to enact ordinance 2026- approving rezoning 2026-04 State Road 16 commercial based upon 4 findings of fact and 1 condition as provided in the staff report.
Okay, we have a motion second. Let's vote. And that passes 4-1. Thank you guys so much for great work today. Let's move right into the commissioners' reports. If we can go to Commissioner Arnold.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, Commissioner Joseph. Let me push that button. You have the floor. Oh.
Okay.
All right, leave it alone. You have the floor.
Okay, I have some pictures from Ponte Vedra Beach, and we have a crazy croquet group. And here we are. Ryan and I had to play against these people, and it was amazing. The lady was jumping her balls over everybody else's, and Ryan was winning the whole time. And then my lady did a jump over into so I won. So it was all girls against boys. But anyway, what I want to point out is this is behind PV Rawlings, and it's the most beautiful 7 to 8 courts you'll ever see. And what's nice about it is they're ranked in the top 10 of places to have events as well as be known for. So I just really wanted to point out what our community has that really no one knows, and they're there all the time. If you ever want to drive by, it's Mosquito Control Road off of A1A in Ponte Vedra Beach. And see how nice that is? And the grass is green. And anyway, I think one of our utility plants was right next to that. And I assume that this used to be their property years and years ago. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. And then one last thing I want to point out is the soccer. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but watching the Scots in Boston and people coming to America and just loving America, loving Buc-ee's, loving Waffle House, and being in the middle of the country. It's just so fun, and I've just been smiling at the comments. If you have any time to watch some of those reports, it's really amazing how great our country is. That's it.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Whitehurst.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The U.S. Hispanic Chamber has a national convention every year, and the First Coast Hispanic Chamber, headed up by Monica Hernandez, she's been here several times to receive proclamations on behalf of this board. Monica Hernandez is trying to get the U.S. Hispanic Chamber's convention to come to Northeast Florida. It would primarily be in Jacksonville, but obviously she would love to showcase St. Augustine as a part of their tours around Northeast Florida. We all know that there's been an increase in Hispanic-owned businesses and Hispanic just culture here in Northeast Florida. Obviously, St. Augustine is founded by the Spanish. The tourism industry has already offered several letters of support. The VCB, Susan Phillips. I was hoping I could get consensus to simply offer a letter of support from St. Johns County for the First Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce to get the convention to Northeast Florida.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Okay, Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I wanted to touch on that our neighboring counties right now are currently taking defensive action to protect their communities against massive data centers. Nassau just enacted a 12-month moratorium on new AI data centers, and Clay and Flagler counties are moving forward with a temporary moratorium on new data center applications. And they're doing this because they recognize that these massive data centers demand continuous, immense loads on the electric grid, threaten our aquifer, and they bring hardly any permanent jobs to our residents in our county. The Northeast Florida Regional Council, that both Commissioner Whitehurst and I are a part of, voted recently to designate data center growth as an official regional planning issue. And at a recent meeting, we had a fabulous presentation from Nassau County on their moratorium. These actions recognize that issues such as water resources, electrical infrastructure, growth management, natural resource protection, and community impacts do not stop at county and city boundaries. I would like to recommend that St. Johns County put a similar temporary moratorium on data centers. I'd like to join other counties that are being proactive rather than reactive. And I think a pause would give our county time to research both the environmental and infrastructure impacts, such as high water and electrical consumption. By doing nothing, St. Johns County has a massive target on our back. If our neighboring counties shut their doors to AI data centers, we become the path of least resistance. And we are turning ourselves into sitting ducks to the exact projects that our neighbors were smart enough to reject. Our residents have made it perfectly clear that they do not want these data centers here in our county. So I'd like to act today, and let's not wait until an application is before us. And I did just want to add too, I just realized this morning that Walton County, actually, because they were very much aware of Senate Bill 484, they actually have they've actually put something in place as well, where they're actually banning them, and they're getting it in place before that Senate bill takes effect on July 1. So that is my request again. I know I'm coming back before I just was trying to...
Are you making a motion? Are you making a motion?
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody had any
Okay,
comments
second.
or,
No.
I mean,
No, I support your motion, whatever it is.
okay.
Whatever the motion is, she supports it. So let's go back and allow you to make a motion.
I would like our county, I would like to make a motion that we enact a moratorium on AI data centers, good for the next year.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Whitehurst, you have any comments?
Yes, sir. I was through the chair to Mr. Bradley, Mr. Dunn. We had this conversation, I don't know, a month or so ago. And at that time, I asked for staff to work up a presentation so that we could get some of the facts about data centers related to use of water, use of energy, other environmental impacts, potential economic benefits. Where are we in developing that presentation?
Neither myself or Mr. Dunn have gotten a report yet, so it is still being reviewed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bradley. I know that at the Northeast Florida Regional Council, Nassau County has put together this extremely comprehensive website related to their research in and around data centers. They are holding several town halls with subject matter experts who are focused on the environmental impacts of data centers, who are focused on some of the infrastructure needs that this country has for data centers, and also some of the economic benefits of data centers. I think that we should avail ourselves of some of their hard work, Mr. Bradley, for whatever that's worth. Nassau County is doing much of the hard work for us. I think it's also relevant to mention that I've had conversations with some of our contacts at FP&L who have told me in no uncertain terms that there would be no need for a data center in St. Johns County for at least the next 20 years, that we don't make sense to have a data center and for what their needs are for at least the next 20 years. I don't know of anybody that has applied for a data center in St. Johns County. I don't know of anybody that ever intends to apply for a data center in St. Johns County. So if we want to pass a moratorium, if that makes sense, I mean, it doesn't offend me one bit. There aren't any proposed data centers in and around St. Johns County that I'm aware of. I do think it's worth mentioning that Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, he put out some information about some misinformation campaigns funded by the Chinese Communist Party targeting data centers in the United States. There's also some misinformation campaigns being funded by Russia. That's all information that's out there. You can certainly look that up for yourself, but I want to make sure that we don't take the bait on foreign governments trying to fund misinformation so that we fall behind on necessary infrastructure, because there are some defense applications to having data centers. There are some economic benefits to having data centers. Obviously, a government can't restrict the amount of data that its residents or citizens are using. We're not gonna ask the government to restrict how much time we spend on our cell phones, right? We're not gonna restrict the AI applications that private citizens are using. So we all are contributing to this need for more data centers. But if you think passing a moratorium for the next year helps just in the court of public opinion, maybe it makes some people feel good, I could support that. It doesn't offend me one bit. I just want to make sure that whatever we do with data centers, whatever conversations we're having on data centers, it's based in fact and not in fear.
Absolutely.
Okay, anyone else? Commissioner Arnold?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had a question for legal. If we're looking at doing a moratorium, is that going to be impacted in any way by SB 180?
Very possibly. I mean, the way SB 180 is written, it actually prohibits moratoriums on construction. It also prohibits, as we've discussed before, anything that is more restrictive or burdensome. So with the motion that is before you today, and I understand that other counties are doing this, I would suggest that you direct the county attorney's office to bring back something. You can't enact a moratorium today, one, because it's not on the agenda and it wasn't publicly noticed, and two, because going through the moratorium process pursuant to statute requires that it comes back for a public hearing.
Okay, so if you would be willing to pull your motion, I would ask for consensus to ask legal to show us a path to putting a moratorium together so that we can have a public hearing about this. I kind of, one of the things I was thinking about is that, we're not in a good place for data centers anyway. They don't want to come here because there's no power. We don't have the transmission lines. So doing a moratorium is, for me, is fine. I don't have a problem with it. I just want to make sure that we jump through the proper legal hoops and make sure we're doing it the right way. Fair? Would that be fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was hoping she wasn't going to pull the motion, because we could amend the motion to say that we are voting on a moratorium and get maybe all of us on board, and that would be great for our county and for the people here, and then send it over there.
I don't know if we can do that. Can we do that?
Amend it so it goes to legal? No?
Yeah. It's, consensus to put a moratorium package together so that we can go to public hearing and then have a vote on it. Is that fair? Is that fair?
All right, thanks.
Would that be all right?
That's
Okay.
wonderful. Thank you.
Good deal.
Thank
Anything
you
else,
so
ma'am?
much. No, and then I just want to wish everyone a wonderful 4th and a wonderful time celebrating our nation's 250th anniversary. I've already been to a number of things. I know we were recently for a special celebration for Flag Day, and our county and city have a number of amazing events coming up to celebrate such a wonderful, wonderful occasion.
Thank you so much. And with that, so that segues into the governor recently allowed the state employees to have Thursday, Friday, and Monday off because it is the 250th. And I would like to ask for consensus from the board to do the same thing for our county's employees. Would that be all right?
Absolutely.
Would that be okay? Okay, so we have consensus going forward to make sure that we do that for our state employees, for our county employees.
Mr. Chair, Is this for the CBA also, the firefighters, because they are on a different schedule and their days would be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? That would cover all the shift workers.
I don't know. Is it?
I mean, we have to get the specific language.
Is that what you're recommending?
Yes, sir.
The language, in that case, we'll go with that, yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Everybody good?
Yep.
Fantastic. I have nothing else. We'll go to you for a report.
All right. First of all, thanks to the board for the extra days off. Administration and the staff are very much appreciated for that. We appreciate your generosity. Also, back to the data centers, Ms. Valier is working on that, and she will produce a comprehensive report. Also, she's working with the North Florida Regional Council, gathering data regarding that also. And before the next meeting, we'll have a memo for the board to update you where we are.
Thank you.
All right. That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Commando.
Nothing further, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right. We stand adjourned then. Thank you. Oh, and happy 250th to everybody. I appreciate everybody's hard work. We're adjourned.